Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto learns more from the Forbidden Scroll Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. I have to make it to Mizuki-sensei's training area, Naruto thought as he ran as fast as he could away from the Hokage Tower with the Forbidden Scroll on his back. Naruto has stolen the Forbidden Scroll of Sealing from my office. I want the scroll and Naruto returned to me now, and I will not accept failure. We can't let Naruto be hurt or the scroll captured, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage of Konoha, proclaimed. Hai Hokage-sama, a battalion of Chunin and Jounin called. Move out! And with a wave of his arm, the shinobi of the Hidden Leaf village disappeared in a puff of smoke. Let's see Shadow Clone Jutsu? Crap, I suck at clones. Next, Reaper Death Seal? Sounds like an emo jutsu, hehe. Maybe I should keep this for the team. Naruto laughed at his little joke while looking through the scroll. Huh. Ninja Art. Soul Drain absorbs the target into the user and gives the user access to the target's muscle memories, recently used jutsus and consciousness into their own mind. Sounds kinda weird. Naruto wondered on its uses for a while. Well, I gotta start somewhere. Okay, Soul Drain it is. Naruto. Hey, Iruka-sensei. Wow, you found me fast. I was only able to learn one jutsu. Iruka paused and had a good look at Naruto. He was scuffed and dirty, and seemed to be jumpy but focused at the same time, almost like the squirrels found in these forests. Naruto, why did you steal the Forbidden Scroll? Do you know how much trouble you'll be in? Nah, I'll be fine. Mizuki-sensei said that I'll be a genin after learning one of the jutsu in this scroll. Hokage Gigi won't mind if I borrowed it, Naruto yelled with a grin. Mizuki? Iruka wondered suspiciously before hearing a whizzing sound. Naruto moved. He turned back to Naruto only to see him scurrying up a tree while staring into the forest just in time to avoid most of few dozen kunai, receiving only two, one cutting his left foot and the other scraping his right bicep. Wow, Iruka, you sure did find the little monster fast, Mizuki snarled from a branch on the other side of the clearing. Mizuki, what are you doing? Sensei, what's going on? Why did you attack me? Naruto asked as he fell onto the ground, nursing his wounds. Shut up, demon! Mizuki screamed as he hurled one of his giant shuriken at a scared and hurt Naruto. Naruto, get down. Shlink. Naruto looked up only to see Iruka knelt over him with the shuriken stabbed into his back. Iruka-sensei? Why? Naruto asked with tears in his eyes. Because Naruto cough, I couldn't just let my favorite student be hurt. Iruka boldly stated with a sad grin. Ha! Favorite student? Please, Iruka, we both know you hate just him like everyone else, that's why you always lied to him. Mizuki stated with a wicked smirk. Lied to me? About what? Naruto asked in confusion. Mizuki's smirk grew into a crazed grin. About why everyone hates you. Iruka's eyes widened in disbelieving shock. Don't, Mizuki. Mizuki jumped down behind Iruka and pulled up a kunai to finish. Iruka, the truth is, Naruto, you are the nine-tailed fox, Kyuubi reincarnated. Naruto stared in stunned silence at Iruka's face. It all makes sense now, why they all glare at me, my birthday, the beatings. Thinking of all the painful past experiences, Naruto started falling into a depression. Then seeing the look on Iruka's pained face, he remembered the few that do care about him, and made a decision. No! I don't care if I was the fox before. Right now, I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I have a sensei to protect. Naruto rolled out from underneath Iruka while swiping a kunai and throwing it at Mizuki's shocked form. It nailed his right lung. Aff. You little bastard! Mizuki looked up in time to see Iruka throwing his shuriken right back at him. Take this, traitor! Iruka yelled. Mizuki dove out of the way, but not fast enough. He screamed as his legs were sliced off at the knee. In a last-ditch effort, Mizuki threw his last shuriken at Iruka, which Iruka dodged by ducking behind a tree. The shuriken stuck halfway through the tree, shocking Iruka with Mizuki's strength. That was when Mizuki smirked, holding a hand sign. Katsu, the shuriken exploded, knocking the tree down and throwing Iruka far out of the clearing. Mizuki's vision was starting to fade. Well, at least I got to take that smart bastard out with me. Forgetting someone? Mizuki's eyes widened when he saw Naruto in front of him holding the ox hand sign. Demon! What are you? Ninja Art, Soul Drain. That's when Mizuki felt it. Naruto chakra was compressing Mizuki's down into a little ball, It was excruciatingly painful. When Naruto's left hand clenched Mizuki's forehead, his whole body was sucked into Naruto through his palm, leaving only his shredded and bloody clothes behind. Naruto fell to his knees, clutching his head. Mindscape. Huh? What happened? Naruto looked around, finding himself in a large maze of sewers. This is weird. Boy, come here, a dark voice bellowed from around the corner. Naruto walked around the corner to find a huge room with a giant cage in it. Hello? Is anyone there? Suddenly, a giant claw reached for him from between the bars and only missing by a few inches of his face. Ugh? Naruto muttered before falling on his ass. This is my container? Geez, you're fucking tiny, the nine-tailed fox demon mocked from beyond his steel cage. Kyubi? Naruto stuttered in shock. Well, what do you know, he's not a complete moron. Kyubi chuckled at Naruto's frustrated face. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. And I'm gonna be Hokage someday. Naruto yelled in a childish fury. You can't talk to me like that. What? What did you do to me, demon? Naruto turned around to see a nude Mizuki hung on the wall by chains. Gah! The fox? Boy, what is this pathetic creature doing here? The fox asked with a snarl. I think I did it with my technique, the soul drain. Naruto replied in a slight awe that it worked properly. And were you practicing this technique on squirrels? Yeah, why? That explains the lunch I enjoyed a few minutes ago. Lunch? Mizuki stuttered while shaking in fear on the fox demon. Yada, that means I saved Iruka-sensei. Naruto cheered before turning to Mizuki with a dark look on his face. Now to finish what I started. Mahahaha. Boy. I think this will be the start of a beautiful friendship, the fox grinned from behind Naruto, with Naruto matching the wicked grin. What are you doing, demon? Naruto walked over to Mizuki while weaving three hand signs. And Naruto, what are you doing? Finishing my technique, HA. With that, a glow emanated from Mizuki and split in two. The first part entered Naruto through his eyes and mouth, and the other materialized in front of Mizuki's body, taking the form of a clothed Mizuki himself. Actually, that didn't hurt as much as I thought it would, Naruto said while smiling at a see-through clothed Mizuki that was on his knees in front of his hung body. Hey Kyubi-san, open up! Naruto then flung Mizuki's body to the fox, who happily munched on the corpse before swallowing. Boy, you are by far the best host I have ever had, ha 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 ha. Kyubi smiled with blood hanging from his lips. Mizuki's consciousness looked on and expected to feel furious at Naruto and the fox, but all he could manage was a weak "what am I gonna live in now? And how come I'm not pissed at you, dem? I'm the fucking demon, you whelp. Okay, Naruto it is. Why am I not trying to kill you right now? Naruto looked at Mizuki seriously. I dunno. Mizuki stared right back with a slight frown. You're a brat. I can answer that. Both Naruto and Mizuki looked up at the giant fox I consumed, along with your body, your negative emotions. Why? If you don't mind me asking, Kyubi-san? Asked Naruto. They taste juicy. Okay, Mizuki said, feeling confused but happy. So now what, Naruto? Fox demon? Now you stay right here, Kyubi stated before placing his giant claw over Mizuki's frame, thus holding him in place. Ouch, bastard fox. I guess he can still feel frustrated. And me, Kyubi-san? Naruto asked with a raised arm. Well now, brat, you have a story to fabricate, the fox replied before blowing a light breeze at Naruto, flinging him out of the cage room and down the hall. Woo. Smack, OUCH, Naruto said as he fell onto his ass again. Looking around, Naruto realized he was back in the field he and Iruka defeated Mizuki in. What? Was any of that real, Naruto thought? Yep. Naruto span around looking for the Kyubi. I'm still in your head, kid, and you need to get rid of those clothes. That's when Naruto looked down and saw Mizuki's bloody clothes left over from the jutsu. How do I do that, Kyubi-san? Naruto thought to the Kyubi. Hey, it's your problem, not mine, you figure it out. Naruto sat thoughtful for a second before he heard Iruka moan and get up from his place just out of sight. Naruto panicked, trying to think of a solution. Quick, I got it, he thought with a grin. Naruto weaved a few hand signs before whispering earth style, headhunter jutsu, and diving into the ground, taking Mizuki's clothes with him. Iruka wandered into the clearing on guard. Naruto? Where are you? Naruto popped up behind Iruka and shouted, right here, sensei. Ah! Iruka yelped before falling on his ass, causing Naruto to laugh loudly. Naruto paused in his laughter for a moment while thinking, hold up, how the heck do I know the headhunter jutsu? Iruka looked annoyed at Naruto before realizing the absence of Mizuki. Hey Naruto? Where's Mizuki? Did he get away with the scroll? No way, sensei. I got the scroll right here. I destroyed Mizuki just like a future Hokage would, Naruto said with a grin while pointing to a darkened patch of earth with a blood-stained headband sitting atop it. Iruka's eyes widened in disbelief. You completely destroyed him. How? Naruto's grin grew even wider, with my new jutsu from the scroll. Iruka stared at Naruto in shock. This academy dropout managed to beat a high-level Chunin? With one jutsu? Iruka thought in amazement. If that doesn't prove he should be a genin, then I don't know what will. Grabbing Mizuki's headband from the ground, Iruka waved Naruto over. Hey Naruto, close your eyes for a sec. Grinning stupidly, Naruto sat in front of Iruka with his eyes closed. Naruto felt a tugging on his goggles, then a cool feeling replacing them. Congratulations, Naruto. Naruto opened his eyes to see Iruka and his reflection in the goggles that he was holding. You graduate. Naruto reached up to Mizuki's headband. No, it's mine. He thought in awe before hugging his sensei. Iruka sensei. Ha 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 ha. Ouch Naruto, I'm still bleeding here. Ha 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 ha. Knock knock. Come on in you two, said Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage of Konoha. A bandaged Iruka entered with a polite bow. The vastly powerful elder. Good morning, Hoka. Hey Ji. Knock it off, Naruto. Naruto ran over to Sarutobi with a smile on his face so big his eyes were closed tight, ignoring Iruka's furious outburst. Sarutobi chuckles graciously. HM, good morning to you, Naruto-kun. How was your rest? He hopped into a chair and leaned back relaxing. He pouted how the hospital was stuffy, and they kept me up all night, and they don't serve any ramen, you gotta fix that. Sarutobi met with a smile before turning to the now seated Iruka. And you, Iruka-kun? All fixed up? Only a scar or two now, Hokage-sama, he said, patting his side and wincing. And the scroll? He asked. It's in the right hands now, so don't worry about it. Ji, I'm a genin now. Look. Sarutobi turned to Naruto with a withered smile. Yes, you are Naruto, and I'm so very proud of you. Naruto's answering smile lit up the whole room. With a small cough, the third Hokage now demanded their attention, causing the two to straighten up in their chairs. Now, Shinobi of Konoha, I want a full report on the happenings of last night, starting with Iruka. Hi Hokage-sama, they chanted together before Iruka led off with his version of what occurred the night before. When I arrived at the 4th Survival Training Grounds, I discovered a tired but cheery Naruto clutching the forbidden scroll and staring at me expectantly. After learning from Naruto that my colleague Mizuki told him to steal the scroll in the first place, I witnessed Mizuki attack a fleeing Naruto with the Shadow Clone Kunai Jutsu. The aged Hokage picked up his mug of tea to try and calm his growing anger at the deceased Mizuki. After this, I stepped in and attempted to stop Mizuki's attack. This is when Mizuki told Naruto the S-class secret about the demon fox. The temperature in the room dropped as the Hokage clenched his mug in his hand, barely controlling his rage. And then, Naruto defeated Mizuki to save me with his new jutsu. The rage disappeared. Huh? The Hokage said, looking dumbfounded at Iruka. Iruka looked at the Hokage nervously and stated, Academy student, Naruto Uzumaki, completely destroyed senior Chunin Mizuki Kahaku. So I gave him genin status. The Hokage stared at Iruka stunned and then at Naruto disbelieving. Kid, I think it's time to tell them the story we fabricated, the Kyuubi thought to Naruto. Naruto nodded. Okay, Kyuubi-san. Gigi? Do you want my report now? The Hokage looked at Naruto and slowly nodded while refocusing. Alright. Well, after Iruka-sensei returned fire and managed to injure Mizuki team, Mizuki blasted him away and I thought he was hurt. So while Mizuki was down, I hit him with my new jutsu and sent his body way underground to rot. But when I came back up, Iruka-sensei was waiting for me and he wasn't too bad off, so I was really happy, Naruto said before smiling like an idiot up at Iruka. An earth jutsu? Well, that is impressive, Naruto. Could you give us a demonstration? Sarutobi asked with a proud nod. I knew this boy was a real treasure, already learning such advanced techniques at his age, smirking to himself. Ugh, well, the thing is, Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly, I kinda forgot the jutsu. Sarutobi and Iruka deadpanned at Naruto. I take it back, he's a moron. Sarutobi weakly smiled at Iruka. Iruka-kun, thank you for the report, I'll see you at the meeting tonight, yes? Iruka knew a dismissal when he heard one. Hi Hokage-sama, I will be there. Turning to Naruto, he ruffled his hair. Catch ya later, Naruto. Good luck as a Konoha Genin, and be careful, okay? You got it, sensei. Naruto beamed up at Iruka as Iruka smiled and left. As soon as the door closed, Sarutobi took off his Hokage hat and gave a woeful sigh. Naruto, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the fox. But you must understand, if the wrong people found out about your status as a container, well, it wouldn't end well. Sarutobi stared to Naruto, willing him to understand. Kid, I think he was just trying to protect you from being harmed. And I guess, from me, the QB supplied to a confused Naruto. QB-san, I have to tell him the truth. If I can't trust Hokage Gigi, then how can I trust anyone? Naruto thought to the fox. With the fox's following silence, Naruto took it as an agreement with his statement. Gigi, what I told you before, well, it's not the full story exactly. Naruto gazed up at the startled old man. I remember the jutsu, it wasn't an earth one. Sarutobi sat back, shocked and worried about Naruto's subdued behavior, and after a few moments' silence, ANBU, leave us alone for a moment, for blurs moved from strategic points in the room and flew out the window. Naruto, please tell me what happened. I swear on my honor as the fire's shadow that I will not tell anyone of what you say now unless it endangers the village. Sarutobi looked comfortingly at a scared Naruto. Well, when I opened the scroll, the first few jutsu just didn't stand out to me, so when I found one that did, I jumped on the opportunity to train. Naruto started blabbering nervously. It's called ninja art, Soul Drain. At this, the strongest man in Fire Country, the legendary Fire Shadow, went stark pale. I didn't destroy Mizuki, I absorbed him. He's in my head right now. If I go into my mindscape, I can talk to him. How do you know that, Naruto? Sarutobi whispered in concern. If a person like you entered their mindscape, they'd meet their tenant. Naruto shifted nervously. Well, if you mean QB-san, then yeah, I've met him, and I. What did he say to you, Naruto? Naruto looked up into Sarutobi's eyes with fierce determination and boldly stated, the QB pledged itself as an ally to myself and to Konoha. Sarutobi sat shocked and silent for a few minutes. A demon this powerful, being channeled through someone with Naruto-kun's spirit? This could very well be the bringer of the destruction of the shinobi world I'm talking to. Sarutobi looked down at Naruto, seeing what he could be. Then Naruto grinned at Sarutobi like the innocent child he is. And just maybe he will be the most incredible Hokage this village has ever seen, Sarutobi thought with a smile. Sarutobi sat up straight and placed his hat back on his head. Alright, Naruto-kun, I've come to a decision. The public story will be what you first told Iruka and myself. Only I will know of your new last resort jutsu. You will keep your position as Genin, in exchange for a wish of mine, okay, Naruto? Naruto nodded his head vigorously and with a huge grin. Yeah, Gigi, whatever you need, I can do, believe it. With an aged smile, Sarutobi slowly got up, walked around his desk and knelt to eye level next to Naruto. Believe in the will of fire, Naruto-kun, now placing the Hokage hat on Naruto's head. And use it to protect the Hidden Leaf Village. Naruto looked up at Sarutobi with more determination than any 12-year-old should have. Till my last breath, Jig, I will live by these words. My new Nindu. Believe it. Finishing with a hug, Naruto gave the hat back with a smile. Good to hear, stated Sarutobi while adjusting his hat. Naruto Uzumaki, Genin of Konoha. Our meeting is adjourned. The details of this meeting is an A-class secret. Sarutobi ruffled Naruto's overly happy head. Hi, Hokage Gigi. Iruka sat at Ichiraku Ramen feeling lucky about the whole situation with Mizuki. I wonder when Naruto is due to come out of the meeting. Not a moment sooner, Naruto hopped up onto the stool next to him. Hey, Iruka-sensei. Don't shout, idiot, I'm right here. Laughing, Naruto said, Iruka-sensei, remember you said you'd buy me ramen if I graduate, right? Iruka sighed in defeat. Yes, sure, go ahead, Naruto. He couldn't help himself from smiling seeing Naruto so happy. Alright. Hey, old man Ichiraku. Gimme 4 miso ramen, and keep 'em coming. Damn it, Naruto, you think I'm made of money? Later that night at the large meeting hall at the base of the Hokage Tower, Iruka and the principal of the Ninja Academy sat alongside the Hokage, facing 24 Jounin. Clearing his throat, Sarutobi gained everyone's attention. Alright, thank you all for coming. Tonight those of you that want to may request a new genin for a squad that will be ran by you. If you have any problems with what one of your colleagues suggests, feel free to share your opinion. At this, Asuma Sarutobi, Hiruzen's son, stepped forward. Hey dad, I'd like to request this generation's Ino Shikacho unit, under my old team banner, Team 10. The Hokage nodded approvingly. A sound request, anyone object? Silence. Alright Asuma, Team 10 is yours. Hokage-sama? Kakashi Hatake stepped forward. I was told that no matter who I chose, I'm gonna end up getting the Uchiha class of my Sharingan, so can I have Naruto as well, please? At this, a huge uproar broke out. The demon passed? Hokage-sama! You can't let the demon be on the same team as the Uchiha. I love Dango. Silence. At Sarutobi's yell, everyone shut up. Anko, please leave. You are a Tokubetsu Jounin, and as such not allowed to train a squad anyway. K. Anko says before diving out a closed window, shattering the glass all over the floor. Sarutobi sighs in exasperation. Kakashi, was there anyone else you wanted to request? Looking up from his book, huh? Did you say something, Hokage-sama? Sarutobi facepalmed himself. For the love of Log, your third candidate, Hatake. I widening in realization. Let's see, I guess I'll take Kakashi, rummaging through the sheets of paper containing genin names. This one? Okay, Sakura Haruno, I guess. Any objections? Nobody cared. Alright, Squad 7 under Kakashi Hatake, Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, and the pink-haired Banshee. Everyone looked at Sarutobi with a raised eyebrow, or a suppressed giggle. Ugh, I mean Sakura Haruno. Next. Mindscape. Hey Mizuki team, Kyubi-san. Why is it a sewer down here? Naruto yelled upon entry into his mindscape. Cause kid, you're as unimaginative as a shit. Kyubi honestly replied. Bastard fox. Naruto yelled back childishly while shaking a fist at the legendary demon. Well, Naruto, a see-through Mizuki stated, leaning on one of the bars on the cage, a person's mindscape is basically the representation of how they imagine their consciousness to be. Yours is a sewer because you are young and impressionable. Naruto just looked at Mizuki blankly. What I'm saying is it took a random simple form. You can change if you want. Just by willing it to change. Mizuki explained. Naruto's face lit up in realization. Why didn't you just say so before? See what I'd have to put up with by myself if he chose another jutsu. Kyubi deadpanned at a face-bound Mizuki. So I can do this? Naruto exclaimed, staring in concentration at a blank space. A lot of people can glare at the floor, kid. It doesn't take much concentration to a small 2-story house with a flat roof suddenly appeared. I stand corrected. Mizuki looked at the house in awe. Holy log. That's incredible. Smirking, Naruto jumped onto the roof. Almost done, he said, and chewed his lip in focus. And thus, a 10x 8-meter flat-screen television grew out of the roof, along with a 4-seater couch. Done! Now you too can watch the outside world through my eyes and ears. Mizuki looked at the black screen and listened to Naruto's snores. Truly invigorating, he sarcastically stated. I know, right? Naruto obliviously yelled. That's nice and all, but you need to get up. Your team assignments is in 4 hours, and you need to get new gear. New gear? Why? Naruto asked, looking at Kyubi. Since you have my fighting style and main jutsu, you need to acquire the items that work with it. Mizuki explained. Huh? So that's how I knew the headhunter jutsu? Naruto asked with a look of understanding on his face. Yeah, kid, say what other jutsus do you suddenly know? The Kyubi asked. Naruto tried to think of what jutsu he knows. Well, all my jutsu that I know I can do are substitution, transformation, ninja art, soul drain, shuriken shadow clone jutsu, earth style, headhunter jutsu, and the earth style, earth wall. I also feel like I have a higher understanding of chakra control. Naruto's smile threatened to split his face in half. Wow, I totally picked the best jutsu ever. That's nice, Mizuki said, standing behind Naruto. Now, wake up. Mizuki punted Naruto back down the hallway into consciousness. Beep 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 smash. Naruto sat up quickly, fully energized. Alright. Let's go. Naruto cheered as he jumped to his feet. After getting dressed, Naruto ran down the street to the Higurashi ninja store, hoping they'll let him in since he's now a ninja. Now standing at the door, Naruto took a deep breath. Hurry up, kid, you don't have all day. Realizing the annoying Baka was right. Why? Naruto walked into the store, listening to the jingling of the doorbell. Good morning and welcome to the Higurashi ninja store. How may I help you? A roughly 40-year-old burly bald man asked from behind the counter. Hi, I'm looking for a twin set of those giant shuriken, Naruto said, pointing to a shuriken identical to Mizuki's hung on the wall, and a shinobi assassin set, please. The burly man's eyebrows lifted. An assassin set? Aren't you a little young to already have a shinobi specialty? Naruto smiled up at the man. Old enough to kill, old enough to do whatever the fuck he wants. That was taught to me by an old sensei of mine. A huge laugh bellowed out from the man. What an interesting life philosophy, young man. Alright, I'll grab it for you. The man walked into the back room where Naruto heard a lot of metal clinking. Not 2 minutes later, he walked back out with a box the size of Naruto's torso, and 2 small metal bracelets. These are the latest giant shuriken sets. The bracelets have 3 seals on each, and each seal can hold 2 giant shuriken. It's a bit pricey, but for a kid like you I can knock it down a little since you're buying a whole assassination kit as well. You want me to fully stock each seal? Naruto looked on blankly at the bracelets. I don't know if I can afford all that. I only got this much, said Naruto as he opened his froggy wallet, letting all his cash fall out. And after the bounty on a B-rank missing Nin Mizuki, there was a lot. The burly man's eyes flashed into dollar signs. I think you can easily afford all of this with a half of what you got there, my boy. Haha. Naruto smiled up at him. Thanks, Mr. M. Sorry, what's your name? The man thumped his chest proudly and stated in a much rehearsed voice, Dan Higurashi is my name, and blacksmithing is my game, and you my boy. Naruto suddenly got nervous. Will he kick me out once he finds out who I am? Like all the others? The QB whispered to Naruto through his thoughts, he seems to be a good man, kid. Trust him and he may return the favor. Naruto looked up at the man nervously. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, rookie genin of Konoha. Dan's eyebrows lifted once again and stared at Naruto for a solid minute, putting Naruto on edge, ready to run at a moment's notice. You're the kid that painted the Hokage monument? Dan said with a smile. That takes guts, kid. Naruto smiles back widely. You heard about that. Everyone did. What I want to know is how you managed to get away from all of them and be you in a bright orange tracksuit, Dan said while he chuckled at his own joke. Naruto yelled confidently, orange is the best color by far. Believe it. Laughing at Naruto's enthusiasm, Dan said, well, I can help set you up with some proper shinobi clothing while keeping some orange if you got the time. What do you say, Naruto-kun? Yada! Naruto cheered while following Dan to the clothing section. Naruto heard the QB sigh heavily. This is why we left extra early, kid. Good luck with the team meeting, Naruto-kun, said Dan, waving goodbye to Naruto as he ran to the academy to meet up with his new squad. Naruto half-turned and grinned back. Thanks, Dan-san. I'll be back soon, I promise. Jumping onto a nearby roof in his new outfit, Naruto took a second to admire how cool he looked. With the tracksuit now folded away and safely sealed into his new orange sealing belt, he now wore black ninja pants with a print of an orange shuriken on each of his knees, with a chain mail singlet laying under his new black t-shirt with an orange trimming. On his feet he wore standard black shinobi sandals, sitting over orange bandages wrapped to hold the hem of his pants in place. He had orange and black lined gloves on his hands showing off his shuriken seal bracelets. The look was finished off with the new cloth on his headband, which was a jet black. Jumping on top of a nearby power pole, Naruto yelled out, "Look out, world! A new Naruto Uzumaki is in town!" With that, Naruto focused chakra to his feet, and started hopping towards the academy. Sasuke Uchiha? HN. Naruto Uzumaki? Naruto? Iruka looked up from his roll to look towards Naruto's seat only to see it empty. With a frown, Iruka thought, Naruto, what are you doing? Being late on your first day as a shinobi? Geez, he's probably just slept in. With a deep sigh, Iruka was about to continue on when suddenly Naruto popped out of the floor in front of Iruka's desk. Hey sensei. Naruto? Iruka stopped his rant when he noticed, yes, Naruto did pop out of the ground, and with a new look. With a grin, Naruto said, sorry I'm late, sensei. I was stocking up on ninja tools. You know what they say, better to be late and prepared than early and dead. He finished before moving to his desk between Shikamaru Nara and Kiba Inuzuka. Iruka stared at Naruto in shock until, Sensei, we're all here, so can you get on with the team announcements? It's troublesome to be here any longer, spoke the resident genius. Now snapped out of his daze, why yes, good point Shikamaru, right, team 1. Nobody cared unless it was their team that was called. Team 7 Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno. Under Kakashi Hatake. Sasuke had no outward reaction at all, Naruto only frowned slightly. Sakura cheered that she was on the same team as Sasuke. For an unknown reason, Iruka felt like he was witnessing something special. Where the fuck is this sensei of ours? Naruto, don't swear, it irritates Sasuke Kun. Fuck you, Haruno. Team 7 appeared slightly frustrated that their sensei was late by 3 full hours, starting to border on 4. Though on Sasuke, you can only tell by the slowly increasing frown. This is the site one Kakashi Hatake finds himself walking in on. Hello Team 7, you're tacky and I hate you. Meet on the roof in 1 minute. Poof, and the Jounin is gone. In a rush, Naruto grabs his teammates, and using the headhunter jutsu, dives into the outer wall of the academy and moves up to the roof. Poofing onto the roof, Kakashi took a seat against the railing, waiting for his charges. What he saw next was more than he expected. Wahoo! Yelled Naruto as he flew out from the rooftop with a screaming Sakura under one arm and a stunned silent Sasuke over his shoulder. Naruto let go of his teammates in midair and landed with a thumbs up directed at Kakashi, as Sakura landed in an unceremonious heap on her ass, and Sasuke flipped around at the last second to land in a crouch next to Naruto. That was interesting. How did you do that, dope? Said Sasuke with a raised brow. With a grin, Naruto looked to Sasuke, hee with my new jutsu team. Sasuke smirked back at Naruto's grin, guess you won't be as useless as I thought. Before Naruto could retort, Kakashi cut in. Impressive you three, getting up 6 stories in 8 seconds. Very impressive. Thanks sensei. Naruto shouted proudly. Shut up Naruto, your yelling is annoying everyone. The useless banshee screeched. She was just about to scream again when Kakashi slammed some tape over her mouth. Right, now that is taken care of, how about some introductions? Starting with the blonde. Kakashi said while pointing to Naruto. Why don't you show us how it's done, sensei? Sasuke asked. Alright, my name is Kakashi Hatake, my likes are none of your concern, my dislikes are the things I don't like, my hobbies include things I like, and my dreams are rated R18+, so I won't be sharing them with children. Now you blondie? The three just stared at him thinking, all we know is his name, and he has grown-up thoughts. Okay then. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, my comrades and my tenant. At this Kakashi's visible eye widened. My dislikes are the scum of this village, irritating fangirls and traitors. My hobbies include sleeping and training and ramen. And my dream, I will protect the will of fire and the people that follow it. Believe it? Kakashi nodded. Alrighty then, I'll need to talk to you about you, tenant. Comment later, Naruto. Alright the emo, your turn. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I like training and getting stronger, I dislike weak fangirls, and a certain man. My hobbies are the same as my likes, and my dream, no I don't have a dream, but my ambition is to kill a certain man. Well aren't you a ray of sunshine? Sasuke glared at Kakashi. Alright, and your turn, Pinky. MMMPHM and MMPFFF. That's quite amazing and more than enough information, thank you Sakura. The two boys looked at Kakashi confused. Did he actually hear her introduce himself? Or did he already know our names? They looked at each other, then at a fuming Sakura. Best not to ask. Alright you three, meet me at Training Ground 7 tomorrow at 6 am for your second test. Naruto, I will be visiting you this evening to discuss things. Kakashi said before poof, he was gone. Naruto turned to Sasuke. Hey, what do you think he meant by second test? A frowning Sasuke looked back. How should I know, dope? I have to go train. Then he started towards the stairs just as Sakura ripped the tape off of her mouth. Sasuke-kun, let's train together. Sasuke froze and turned back to Sakura before turning back to the stairs only to see Sakura standing there staring at him with hearts in her eyes. Sasuke-kun? Sasuke scowled. Crap. How do I ditch this banshee? He thought when he suddenly felt someone grab his arm. Turning, he saw Naruto. Come on team! He yelled before jumping off the building and dragging Sasuke with him. Naruto, you're gonna kill us! Sasuke screamed in a very un-Sasuke moment. He looked at Naruto to see him holding a one-handed sign. Dope, what are you doing? And then, the two disappeared as they dove into the ground. Coming up at Team 7's new training ground, a giggling Naruto let a freaked-out Sasuke free. Hee, that was great. Did you see her face? Ha 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 ha. A now slightly calmer Sasuke said, I guess a thanks is due, dope, nice save. Although, I could have used a warning. I owe you one. Naruto, now smiling widely, alright then, I'll consider us even if instead of both of us training separately and without a sparring partner, let's train together as long as we're on this team together. Sound good? Naruto asked. Sasuke looked at Naruto weighing the pros and cons. After a moment he nodded fine, but only for as long as the anti-fangirl service is active. Deal? Naruto nodded. Deal. Naruto and Sasuke took their stances. Taijutsu only, dope? He asked with a confident smirk. For now team. Enough chatter, let's go. Naruto yelled as he shot forward with a higher skill level than ever shown previously. Knock knock. Naruto looked up from his dinner of instant ramen and blinked. Who do you think it is, Kyubi-san? He thought. It's probably that Cyclops from earlier. He did say he wanted to talk to you about me. Naruto nodded and slurped the last mouthful as he took the necessary steps to the door. He opened it with one hand to see that it was indeed Kakashi who was waiting. Yo, Naruto, he said with a wave. Naruto grinned. What's up, sensei? You wanted to talk about Q. Within a second, Kakashi had closed the door and moved Naruto over to his bed. When Naruto got control and sat back up normally, he noticed Kakashi had pulled his only chair up to face the bed. What the hell? Naruto yelled. Kakashi, I smiled. Sorry, Naruto, but I can't let you talk about that so callously, he said before leaning forward and speaking in a serious tone. Your comment earlier today about your tenant, explain to me what you meant exactly? And Naruto stared into Kakashi's eye for a moment. What should I say, Kyubi-san? He thought to the fox. Naruto heard the fox chuckle. Just repeat after me, even if I say something you don't agree with. Naruto nodded to himself before talking to Kakashi. Well, Cyclops, I meant the Kyubi, but since it's in my gut, I don't see how it's your business, he said before folding his arms and pouting childishly. Kakashi's eye widened, and here I thought he might be similar to Minato-sensei, he thought before sighing. Naruto, I'm your sensei. I'm asking for the safety you and your team, Kakashi said while placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto blinked in shock. He cares about me? Naruto thought. No shit, kid, why else do you think he came here? Repeat after me again, I want to mess with him some more, Kyubi ordered with a chuckle. Naruto frowned. Bastard fox. Forget it. You're cut off, Naruto thought as he broke the signal between him and the TV in his mind. Naruto smiled at Kakashi. Sorry, sensei. Well, I met Kyubi-san the other night. Other than being a prick, he's pretty alright, Naruto said while scratching his head. Kakashi blinked. The Kyubi pretty alright? He asked skeptically. Naruto nodded. He has no influence on me if that's what you think. I can cut him off anytime, Naruto explained. Kakashi nodded. Well, alright. I'll take your word for it. But if I see any problems concerning its chakra, I won't hesitate to take action, Kakashi said, signifying the importance of Naruto's control. Naruto nodded. I wouldn't expect anything less, sensei. There are people in this village with a strong will of fire. I refuse to let them be hurt because of me, Naruto said in a moment of seriousness. Kakashi appraised Naruto before patting his head. You're a good kid, Naruto. I think you'll do well, Kakashi said before standing up straight. That is, if you guys pass my test in the morning, Kakashi said with an eye smile before waving later. Naruto watched as Kakashi disappeared in a poof of smoke. It filled his small room in seconds, causing him to cough and splutter as he opened a window to let it free. Naruto stared out at the Hokage monument as the smoke filtered out and held his arm up to it. Clenching his fist, he vowed, I will pass your exam, sensei, believe it! Shiite! I can't believe I'm late, Naruto yelled as he ran as fast as he could towards training ground 7. Oh man, I'm so screwed! Approaching the training field, he could see Sasuke and Sakura leaning against the training posts. Oh crap, they're gonna kill me. Hey guys. Sorry I'm late, my training got a little rough yesterday, then I had a late night, he said sheepishly as he came to a stop. Sakura scoffed. Yeah right, I bet you just knocked yourself out by falling over. Naruto glared at Sakura. I may have been knocked around hard, but I got a couple of decent hits in Oswell. I'm just not that smooth with unarmed combat, Naruto explained. Sakura scoffed. Who trained with you? You're the dead last. Only a moron would waste their time with you. Sakura glared at Naruto hatefully. Naruto smirked. Oh really, whoever would train with me is a moron? Duh. Are you deaf as well, Baka? Sakura screeched. No, he's not. He's just wondering why you'd call me, the love of your life, a moron. Sasuke smirked from his place leaning against the training post. Sakura turned to Sasuke and looked horrified. And oh Sasuke-kun. Why would you choose him over me? I had the highest marks in the academy other than you. I am way better than this Los MMPF. Sakura suddenly found her mouth taped shut courtesy of Naruto. Team, you were right, she's an annoying banshee. Then Naruto dove underground and pulled down Sakura till only her head and shoulders were left above ground. Naruto came back up smirking. That's one more training session, Sasuke. How about now, Dobe? By the looks of things, Kakashi isn't gonna be on time again, Sasuke stated with a replying smirk. You said unarmed combat isn't your specialty, so what is? With a huge grin, Naruto swiped his hands over his opposite wristbands and with a poof of smoke. Whoa! Sasuke said in shock, and Sakura's eyes widened from her position in the floor. Naruto stood slightly crouched holding one shuriken in front of him in his left hand and the second in his right above his head. Grinning confidently, "You like Sasuke?" he said with a chuckle before twirling them expertly. "When did you learn to wield those, Naruto?" Sasuke asked. Just something Mizuki-sensei passed on to me," Naruto replied with a smirk before resealing his shuriken. "I think I'll leave the armed combat to you then," Sasuke said. Naruto let out a huge yawn. "I'm still tired, maybe we could sleep instead of train this morning?" Sasuke yawned in reply and answered with his trademark HN. Lying down next to Sakura's head, "MK, good night team, Sakura." Sasuke did the same on the other side of her head, "Night." Sakura was stuck in the ground fuming at her teammates, MMPFF. "Yeah, you're right, Sakura, the sunrise does look nice this morning." At 11 a.m. Kakashi appeared in a poof of smoke. "Sorry I'm late, I was lost on the road of life." He looked around to find Naruto and Sasuke, using an almost completely buried Sakura's shoulders as pillows, while she glared up at him with her mouth taped shut. In this situation, Kakashi did the only thing he could. Reaching into his pouch, he pulled out a camera and took a photo. Flash. Naruto jumped to his feet with a yelp, while Sasuke rolled to his feet whipping out a kunai. "Good to see you three are so alert this morning," Kakashi said with an eye smile. "Naruto, please get your teammate out of the ground." "Sure thing, sensei," Naruto said with a salute before falling backwards into the ground. With his 3 students now sitting in front of him patiently, Kakashi began his speech. "Alright guys, now I'm sorry to break it to you, but until you pass my test you are not full genin yet." Cue jaw drop from Naruto, scowl from Sasuke and muffled Sakura trying to take the tape off of her mouth. "In this test you need to take one of these bells from me in combat, and return them to this alarm clock," he said, pulling out 2 bells and clipping them onto his belt. "You need to come at me with the intent to kill or you won't stand a chance. The alarm will go off at noon, so, begin." All 3 genin disappeared into the surrounding foliage. "Now, I wonder who will come for me first. Or if they'll take me seriously." After 2 minutes of waiting, Kakashi heard a whizzing sound and barely ducked in time to dodge a flying shuriken. What the hell? What genin is capable of using a full-sized battle shuriken at this speed? Kakashi turned to where the shuriken was thrown from, only to see a fireball mere meters away from him. "Shit!" Boom. Naruto jumped into the clearing holding a second shuriken. "Damn, Sasuke," he substituted. Naruto complained. Sasuke appeared next to Naruto HN. Seeing the substitution log, they both paused to offer their prayers to the fallen log. An onlooking Kakashi's eye widened. Followers of the log? And these boys are barely genin. And by the looks of things they've also figured out they need to work together to get these bells. Looking down from his perch, Kakashi saw Naruto's discarded shuriken. Now why would he leave such a pricey ninja tool sitting there? Approaching the shuriken, Kakashi kept his focus on the genin in the clearing. He will plan to come pick it up, and by then I will have a trap set up for the both of them, Kakashi thought as he crouched in front of the shuriken. He reached into his pouch on the left side of his belt line, leaving the bells wide open on the right. It was at that moment, Naruto and Sasuke turned to him while smirking. "Now Sakura!" yelled Naruto. Shocked that the 2 genin managed to sense him, Kakashi didn't react in time for the shuriken to go poof and reveal it to be Sakura under a transformation jutsu. Sakura grabbed the bells and ran towards the boys who were running towards her. Seeing this, Kakashi snapped out of his daze and ran to get the bells back. "Hurry up, Naruto!" "Ready, Sasuke?" said Naruto as he was sinking into the ground. "HN, fire style, fireball jutsu," Sasuke said as he launched the jutsu straight at Sakura and Kakashi. Kakashi's eye widened. What are they doing? They're willing to burn through Sakura and the bells to get me? I have to save her now, Kakashi thought as he began running full speed towards Sakura. The fireball was flying towards Sakura and she was still running towards it, with Kakashi only 3 meters behind her. 2 meters, the fireball was almost upon them. Kakashi reached for her. Only 1 meter away and Kakashi almost had her when Sakura suddenly sunk into the ground. Kakashi stared in shock at the place Sakura disappeared to, and looked up barely in time to see the fireball start to burn the material of his sleeve. He instinctually used the substitution jutsu to barely escape with only minimal burns. Falling to the floor at the base of a nearby spruce, Kakashi looked at the alarm clock and saw Sasuke smirking at him. Not a second later, Naruto popped up from the ground with Sakura by his side holding the bells. Just in time for the alarm go off, Naruto smirked. Looks like Team 7 passes sensei. Knock knock. Come in. The door to the Hokage's office opened, and in walked the newly formed Team 7. Sarutobi looked up shocked. Kakashi? Did you actually pass a team? With a small eye smile, hi Hokage-sama. Not only did they get the bells, they used an abnormal level of teamwork not found among many jounin. Also they managed to best me in a deceptive trap, earning me this. Kakashi showed the Hokage his now bandaged arm. Sarutobi looked on in shock at Team 7's smirking faces. Well, Gigi? How about a mission any? Naruto said with a grin. Be respectful to Hokage-sama baka! Sakura yelled as she slammed a fist into the back of Naruto's head. She was about to rant again when Sasuke slammed tape over her mouth. Quiet. He ordered Sakura before kicking Naruto's side. You dead dope? Sarutobi laughed at the young team while Kakashi smiled. Well, I guess every team was its quirks. Kakashi thought as he watched his team. Over the next 2 months, Team 7 participated in numerous D-rank missions of vital importance. Finally! Naruto shouted while throwing down his paintbrush. Sasuke put down the leftover paint buckets and sighed as he wiped sweat from his forehead with his forearm. At least with the Tora mission we get to train our tracking skills. He muttered. Leaning away from the newly painted fence, Sakura turned to Sasuke starry-eyed. HMMPF Now Sakura, this is no time for such language. Kakashi said from his place in a nearby chair while happily reading Ika Ika Paradise, earning himself a dark glare from the girl. Kakashi-sensei? Can we please get a C rank? I know it's early for a rookie squad, but come on. Naruto pleaded. Kakashi looked over his students, and seeing them all looking at him hopefully, he sighed. I'll ask the Hokage, but I doubt he'll say yes. It's extremely unlikely, so don't get your hopes up. It's about time you asked. I've had this one sitting aside for a week now, Hiruzen said with a small smile towards a wide-eyed Kakashi. Yada! You're the best, Gigi. Naruto ran up and grabbed the scroll from his hand. Let's go! He yelled in victory. And with that, Naruto and Sasuke ran out of the office to get ready for their new mission, leaving a still shocked Kakashi behind with a recently untaped Sakura. Sensei? Shouldn't you get the scroll from Naruto so that we can actually unseal the info and do the mission? She asked in a whiny voice. Snapped out his state at Sakura's question, he replied. Why yes Sakura, you are correct. Now go pack a standard survival kit for let's say a week, okay? We'll meet up at the main gate at dawn tomorrow morning where I will share the mission details. Ciao. And off he poofed to get the scroll from the boys and inform them of the meeting time and place. Naruto walked up to the gate half an hour after the specified meeting time, knowing that it will be at least another hour before the team's sensei arrives. Mornin' guys, Yan, how was your sleep? Naruto asked with a grin. It was fine. Sakura quipped, now knowing it doesn't take much to motivate Naruto into taping her mouth shut. Sasuke just nodded to Naruto, then looked behind him with a raised brow. Curiously, Naruto turned around to see Kakashi walking up to them with a small travel pack on. Good morning, team. They just stared at him in shock before Sakura held up the ram hand sign KI. Sakura, what are you doing? Asked a confused Kakashi. Sasuke answered him. Probably thought that you being here within the hour was a genjutsu. It crossed my mind. Kakashi just blinked at them. Me? Late? Since when? Naruto threw a stick at his sensei. Piss off, sensei, you're not fooling anyone, he said with a pout. Catching the stick and tucking it behind his ear, he said, well, I guess I have been a tad late sometimes. His team just glared at him. Kakashi smiled. Okay then team, let's move out. The first C rank is always a letdown, so let's get motivated. Kakashi pumped his fist in the air while walking down the road. Naruto just followed after with a scowl on his face. Yeah, great speech, sensei, he muttered as the 3 genin trudged along behind their odd leader. All right, troops, we'll stop here for the night before moving on to the town. Hi, sensei, the team muttered as they entered the middle of a small clearing surrounded by huge trees with trunks 10 meters thick. Sakura turned to their sensei. But we still got hours of daylight left. In fact, we could make it to the town by tonight. She whined. As Kakashi sat down in a clearing, he began talking as he opened his pack. Correct, Sakura. But I think it's about time I taught you all proper chakra control, and what better way is there to do so than climbing trees? Sasuke deadpanned at their sensei. Anyone can climb a tree. Ah yes, but how about walk up? Kakashi said with his classic eye smile. Imagining it, Naruto felt as though it was common practice and knew how to do so already. Kakashi-sensei? You mean focus chakra to your feet to adhere yourself to a vertical or upside down object? Surprised at Naruto's knowledge, Kakashi asked, You've done this before, Naruto? Naruto shook his head. Nah, but I have a decent idea. Well then, why not give us a demonstration? Kakashi said as he tossed the kunai into the air. Mark your progress on the tree with a kunai, you two follow after Naruto. With a confident grin, Naruto snatched a kunai and ran towards a tree. Focusing chakra to his feet, he starts to climb. Yes. Thank you, Mizuki, he thought in victory. After getting past the fourth branch, Naruto's grip started to loosen, and he came plummeting down. AHCRAAP. Boom. Sakura runs over to Naruto. Are you okay, Naruto? She asked as she looked down to see a Naruto-sized hole in the ground. After she helped pull him out, he replied, Never better. Except for the embarrassment, and the cracked skull totally fine, he muttered while walking in a circle before he fell onto his side and started snoring. Sensei? Is he gonna be alright? Sakura asked, chewing her lip. Kakashi looked up from his book. Yeah, sure. So do you two get the idea of the exercise? Great. Get started. Kakashi casually walked over to the unconscious blonde, picked him up and continued walking up a nearby tree. Sakura and Sasuke looked down in awe. Picking up a kunai, Sasuke ran at his tree. Alright, the dobe said, focus chakra to his feet. But how much? I'll start with enough for the fireball jutsu and see what I get. Sasuke manages to get 3 meters up the tree before being blown off by the force of his own chakra. Performing a quick backflip, he rights himself and lands on his feet. Okay, that's far too much, he thought with a sigh. His thoughts were interrupted by a loud success. He looked over to see Sakura standing upside down on the 5th branch of her tree. Looking over to them, Kakashi nodded. Good work, Sakura. You seem to have perfect chakra control. Although that is a wonderful thing to have, it also means you have an abysmal amount of chakra. Sakura frowned at her sensei. Hey sensei. Don't point out my weaknesses in front of Sasuke-kun. She shrieked, thus earning herself chakra-reinforced tape over her gaping maw. MMPFMMFM. A dizzy but newly conscious Naruto stood upside down next to Sakura. What did we say about your fangirl mannerisms? He asked sagely. MHMMPF? Sakura screeched as she glared at Naruto. Kakashi clapped, bringing her attention to him. Exactly, Sakura. Now start running up and down your chosen tree while holding the transformation jutsu. This will deplete your chakra reserves quickly so that they are forced to expand at a faster rate while you sleep. He explained. With a glare at Naruto and her sensei, Sakura started running up the tree again and transformed into her friend Ino. From Naruto's angle, he had a clear view up Ino's skirt, causing him to lose concentration and blood from his nostrils. And with that he fell again. Not again, Fyuak? Naruto blinked in confusion before noticing that Kakashi had jumped over and caught him. Now Naruto, you really should start practicing this technique. You may have a good understanding of how it works, but you don't seem to have it mastered like our Kunoichi has, so get at it. Kakashi ordered while tossing Naruto down to the ground. Naruto landed with a humph, before he walked over to a tree next to Sasuke's. Hey team! Need some pointers? Sasuke just glared at his mark on the tree, barely 5 meters off of the ground, then glared at Naruto. What do you think, Dobe? He said sarcastically. Chuckling, Naruto said, well, it's obvious what you're doing wrong. You're using almost 10 times more chakra than you need. That is why you are literally blowing yourself away every time. Sasuke's eyes widened in understanding, and after concentrating on his chakra, he ran for the tree again, making it to the 3rd branch before slipping off. Landing on the ground and looking up at his progress, Sasuke smirked at his success. HN. Turning to Naruto to thank him, he realized Naruto was having one of his daydreaming spouts, staring blankly at the tree. Sighing and turning back to his tree, I can thank the Dobe later. I guess I owe him another one, and an Uchiha always repays their debts. He thinks before running at his tree again. Mindscape. How come I don't have this down right away? Naruto asked from his spot lying down on the couch on the roof. Mizuki stopped watching the Uchiha practice and turned to Naruto. My guess is that even though you recall how to do it from my experience, you're remembering it for someone with my size and mass. Since you are smaller than me, you don't need as much chakra. Though it seems to be close enough to hold you for a few seconds. Naruto raised a brow. Well, that makes sense. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Only I seem to be able to contact you without you being unconscious, kid, and I'm a bit too big to even need the tree climbing technique. The fox pointed out. Naruto frowned, but the scroll said after meeting you in my mindscape, I should be able to converse with you freely. With a sigh, Mizuki started clicking buttons on the TV remote. Let's see what it actually says, he muttered. Mizuki skipped back through Naruto's life. Each time he clicked skip, it went back 12 hours. After a minute, he said, "Here we go. Alright, now I just need to pause it on when you were looking at the scroll there." "Click, got it," Mizuki said in victory. Naruto scowled up at Mizuki. "How'd you do that? These are MY memories." Mizuki shrugged. "This is how you programmed it, even if it was subconsciously." "That is actually pretty cool, probably useful as well." Mizuki interrupted. "Aha! Found it. Alright, it says exactly when the user is like-minded to a specific target. He can freely hear our thoughts, so I guess if you think like me, we can communicate freely." "So basically, I have to think like a boring lecturer with secretly evil intentions?" "Hit the nail on the head, kid." "Well, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon," Naruto guessed. "Kid, you should get back to training, and remember, use only a little bit less chakra." "Yeah, Naruto, it should only be about as much chakra needed for a third of the substitution jutsu, got it?" Naruto rolls his eyes while walking back out of his mindscape. Yeah, geez, you two nag like a couple all the time?" he said before having to dodge a tail of chakra and several kunai on his way out, laughing his ass off as he went. Coming back to his body, Naruto waited till Sasuke was just about to step onto the tree again. "He got it!" he shouted, throwing off Sasuke's concentration and causing him to shoot from the tree on his first step. Scowling, Sasuke turned to Naruto. "Damn it, Dobe, I almost had it," he muttered, only to realize Naruto wasn't there anymore. "Naruto?" "Yeah, team?" Naruto shouted from his place at the very top of his tree, out of Sasuke's sight. Sasuke scowled before getting back to practicing. "I won't be left behind," he thought in determination. Kakashi appeared in a poof on the tree facing Naruto, book in hand. "Good work, Naruto. Since you finished before Sasuke, why don't you go set up the team's tent?" With a small chuckle, "Nah, I'm good, sensei. I already have a 6-man tent set up right here," Naruto said, patting his sealing belt. Curiously, Kakashi asked, "You're that proficient at sealing already, Naruto? Most shinobi don't get taught proper sealing methods until they become chunin." Scratching the back of his head sheepishly, "Well, in all honesty, sensei, I just bought the belt with pre-made sealing pouches. All I know is that it'll help with my specialty." Kakashi raised a brow. "Specialty? What have you chosen?" Turning to Kakashi, Naruto became serious as he spoke. "Assassination." Kakashi's eye widened, shocked at the change in his student. "Naruto, are you sure you've made the right choice? It's a bit early, and I don't think you understand what is needed for that line of work." Looking at his sensei seriously, Naruto smirked darkly as he spoke. "I know who I am and what my purpose is. I made a promise to Hokage Jiji. I will fulfill that promise, even if I have to fall into darkness to do so." Kakashi stared at Naruto, putting away his book and standing straight. "Naruto, I can't let you go down such a dark path. And I know that the Hokage would never ask you to do something so severe." His smirk grew into a dark grin as he unsealed one of his shuriken. "Sensei, how many ninja have you seen that use giant shuriken as their primary weapon?" Frowning, Kakashi thought hard. "Actually, I've only seen one chunin use such a method, so how would Naruto have become so proficient in such a rare fighting style?" he thought before asking, "Not many, why?" Turning away from Kakashi, Naruto spun twice before throwing the star in a wide arc towards a collection of trees. At such a speed, it sliced through 14 of the enormous trees easily before curving back to Naruto, where he caught it flawlessly, showing his control and power to Kakashi's wide eyes. "Kakashi." Kakashi froze when he heard the way Naruto spoke his name. He glanced at Naruto to see a hard glare being directed at him. "Can you imagine what that one throw could have down to, say, an army of enemy ninja?" Naruto asked before sealing his shuriken away. Before Kakashi could reply, Naruto jumped down from the trees. Kakashi sat atop the tree Naruto left him at, thinking about what Naruto said. "Even though it's wrong for a child of his age to think like that, I can't dispute the logic. As a shinobi, he already seems to be around chunin level, so it's logical that he has found a speciality. Even if I don't completely agree with it," he thought with a sigh. Kakashi thought back to Naruto's facial expression when he was imagining those trees to be enemy ninja. Then again, he seemed to actually enjoy the thought of killing others. Is it an influence from the Kyuubi? Kakashi heard footsteps coming up the tree he was on. Looking down, he saw Sasuke panting heavily but focused on his goal. Sasuke could see the top of the tree now, almost there. "I can't be left behind by those two," and with one last push and a boost of chakra, he landed on a branch just under Kakashi. With a sigh of satisfaction, Sasuke lay back against his branch, looking up at the sky. It's almost dusk? I must have been out here for hours. At least I know I got this mastered. Then he noticed Kakashi's curious face staring down at him. Sasuke, I see you finally made it, he said with an eye smile. Sasuke just closed his eyes with a smirk. Turning away from his student, Kakashi mumbled, good to know one of my students haven't changed. This got Sasuke's attention. Changed, sensei? He asked as he pushed himself into a sitting position. Kakashi turned to Sasuke and sighed. Sasuke, let me ask you something. What is your focus for becoming a ninja? Sasuke's look darkened. To hunt down the man who killed my clan. And how are you going to do that, Kakashi asked. Sasuke looked at Kakashi frustrated. I'll track him down. With a raised eyebrow, Kakashi asked the simplest question. How? Sasuke was about to retort before he stopped himself. How am I gonna do that? I have no skills in tracking, he thought as he searched his mind for a response. Kakashi interrupted Sasuke's little epiphany. Every ninja picks a speciality that they will pursue as their main focus. Most of the Uchiha clan chose to become combat specialists. But there are those that use their Sharingan to pick up on subtle changes in the environment to track where a person has been. So I will learn to do both, Sasuke spoke confidently. It took the average Uchiha near 15 years to master their tracking skills, Kakashi informed, breaking Sasuke's confidence. Although every now and then, there are ninja that pop up once a generation that can be a jack of all trades. But usually a master of none. Do you understand what I'm saying, Sasuke? Kakashi asked. Sasuke frowned up at his sensei. You're saying if I'm going to be strong enough to beat him, I won't be able to find him. And if I can find him, he will slaughter me. Kakashi nodded. Yes, that is why we put you on teams, Kakashi said, causing Sasuke's face to light up in realization. So you're saying with our team, we could get him? Sasuke said. Again, Kakashi nodded. It's definitely a possibility. Now what would you say your specialty will be, Sasuke? Sasuke thought hard. Probably hunting. It'll complement Naruto's choice well, and together we can fulfill my goal. Kakashi was startled. You know about Naruto's choice and specialty? He asked. Sasuke nodded with a HN. It seems these two are closer than I realized. Maybe I can use this, he thought as he formulated his next question. Do you know why Naruto chose assassination? With a shrug, Sasuke said yeah. He says it was the third Hokage's wish that Naruto be able to protect the village. Naruto thinks this path will help him do so to the best of his abilities. Now it was Kakashi's turn to have an epiphany. Maybe it wasn't darkness I heard in Naruto's voice before. Just cold hard determination, he thought, convincing himself that Naruto wasn't taking pleasure in the thought of killing. Standing up, Kakashi turned back to Sasuke. Well, I guess as a sensei, it's my job to make you both well-rounded ninja and help you maximize your chosen specialty. We'll do so after we finish this mission. Sasuke got up as well. Speaking of the mission, Kakashi-sensei, you haven't actually debriefed us on what it is we've been hired to do. Well then let's return to camp. I'll inform everyone at once. And with that the two ninja jumped down from the treetops. Naruto looked up from his spot next to Sakura's head. Ohio-sensei, team. You up for some meat? Said Naruto, gesturing to the roasted boar sitting over the fire. Looking at Sakura's head, Sasuke asked, what did you do this time? Sakura glanced up at Naruto, who was halfway through a stick of meat, before looking back to Sasuke. I wanted to sleep next to you in the tent, Sasuke-kun, but Naruto Baka put my stuff in a separate compartment in the tent. Kakashi looked at Sakura. He buried you for that? Kakashi asked. Naruto stopped chewing to reply. Nah, I buried her for trying to steal a pair of Sasuke's underwear. Why in my defense, I do MMFF. I think she likes the taste of tape, guys, Naruto said with a cheeky grin. Kakashi raised a brow at Naruto. How's she gonna eat if her mouth is taped shut? Sasuke sat down on the other side of Sakura's head. We'll leave some for her, sensei. With a sigh, Kakashi took a seat opposite his team. Alright, I guess now is the best time, he said, pulling out the mission scroll. Time for what, sensei? Naruto asked. Sasuke leaned forward to explain. He said to me that he was finally going to give us the mission details, Sasuke said with an excited glint in his eyes. So if you wouldn't mind, Naruto? Kakashi gestured to Sakura's head. Rolling his eyes and putting down his meat, he replied, okay, I got it. He dove underground and resurfaced, pulling Sakura up with him feet first. Done. Ripping the tape off of her mouth, she scowled at Naruto before smiling at Kakashi. Thanks, sensei. And for your information, Naruto, I hate your damn tape. Before he could reply, Kakashi spoke. We don't need to hear about your weird fetishes, Sakura. She flushed bright red while Naruto and Sasuke smirked at her from each of her sides. Now, as you know, this is a C-rank mission. But what you don't know is that it is a clean-up mission. Sakura asked the obvious question, clean-up mission? Kakashi nodded. Yes, you see, there was an A-ranked mission to take out a rogue ninja that was leading a band of thugs across Fire Country, robbing all the travelers they came across. And with that mission being successful, the leftover bandits and thugs split into two groups under the ninja's two apprentices. Now, there are two small thug and bandit camps around the last vicinity the ninja was seen. We are to capture at least one leader of either small group and kill off the rest. Understood? Naruto smirked towards his sensei. I'm guessing we will take one camp at a time, right? With us Genin taking out the weak-ass thugs while you handle the big boss men? Naruto asked. Kakashi nodded. Precisely, but first, we will be heading to meet the mayor of the small town that hired us. They should only be an hour away if you can all use your recently learned skills so we can tree hop there. Think you can handle it? Team 7 smiled and saluted. Hai-sensei. Kakashi I smiled back. Alright, off to bed then, we leave at dawn once more. From his vantage point behind the leader's tent, Kakashi could see the whole bandit camp. Are you guys in position? Kakashi asked over the communicators. Flower here, in position. Flame here, in position. Fox here, ditto. With a sigh, Kakashi sent the three children to make their first kills. Alright, begin stage 1. Soon after sending the command, Kakashi saw a single giant shuriken get flung straight into the entrance of the camp and heard Naruto shout, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. One shuriken suddenly became 100, entering the left flank of the camp and shredding tents, people and weapons alike. Aha, my arm! Help, we're under at a hook. Hiboshi no. I'll kill WHOEVAHHH. Naruto's attack had been successful in killing a third of the bandits, while hurting the others to the right side of the camp. This was all part of the plan. Kakashi yelled into his mic, Stage 2 now. From Kakashi's far right he heard Sasuke yell, Fire style, Fireball Jutsu. He looked over to see a massive fireball burning through the right half of the thug camp, taking out half of the remaining bandits, killing some instantly and forcing others to suffer through the pain of being burned alive and forcing all the remainders into the center of the camp in front of the leader's tent. Stage 3 go. Throwing down a ton of explosive seal tags, Sakura dropped her henge from amongst the leftover bandits just as the leader stepped out of his tent, kunai drawn. All the bandits turned to her in shock as all the tags started to light up. Sakura just smiled, bye-bye, and then she was pulled underground. Not a second later, the tags went off, taking out the rest of the thugs in the camp and severely burning the leading ninja apprentice. With a sigh of relief, Kakashi lifted his hand to the receiver around his neck one last time. Looks like you guys didn't need me after all. Begin with the final stage. Turning off his communicator, Kakashi turned back to look at the damaged leader as he got to his knees. Come out and face me, cowards! The apprentice screamed, only receiving silence in response. Too good to finish me off? I will kill all of you! He screamed with bloodshot eyes as he breathed deeply and looked around to find his attackers. The camp was silent for nearly a minute, then the ninja jumped when he heard a chuckle from behind him. He turned around just in time to see a giant shuriken speeding towards his head. Meeting up with Kakashi back at the rendezvous point, Naruto smiled at his teammates. First camp, done and dusted, he said with a thumbs up. Sasuke smirked and answered with a HN. Sakura, on the other hand, had a deep scowl on her face. Seeing this, Naruto turned to her. Sakura, what's wrong? Sakura grabbed her hair tips and showed them to Naruto. You didn't pull me down soon enough. That damn explosion burned some of my hair off. That's what's wrong, she screamed. Sasuke glanced at Sakura and looked at her new hairdo. I like it short, Sakura, he said, not realizing his mistake. Instantly, Sakura looked at Sasuke with hearts in her eyes. Really, Sasuke-kun? Should I cut it more? Do you like the black? 'Cause I can dye it. How about I'm an FFF? Kakashi smiled at Naruto's handiwork. We have 12 hours to infiltrate the next camp. This time I don't want organized destruction. You are going to infiltrate the camp and take out as many thugs as you can before they notice and give me an opening to come into contact with the ninja. We have to capture this one, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Naruto frowned. But sensei, I like the explosions. Naruto whined. Kakashi sighed. Fine. While infiltrating, set up key points and rig them with sensor explosive seals set for chakra reactors. Make sure they're done by 6 o'clock. By this point you must all be with distance of a quick exit. But remember, we must get every single thug. If one escapes, then we don't get paid. Sasuke stepped up next. I have a plan if you guys want to hear it. The group nodded to him. We each take out a man from near the entrance, the left flank and the right of the camp, and transform into their appearance. Then, using those disguises, we casually walk around the camp setting up the explosive seals. Now, assuming someone approaches us, just pretend you're feeling sick, run to the nearest outhouse, take out someone there, and take their appearance. At 10 to 6, all three of us meet outside the entrance to the leader's tent. This is when Kakashi-sensei will casually walk in the front gate, and using hand-to-hand only, start taking out the thugs, drawing as much attention as you can. Think you can handle it, sensei? Sasuke asked. Kakashi just smiled and said, I am an elite Jonin Sasuke, he said with a chuckle. Sasuke smirked in response. Good, you will slowly fight your way towards the leader's tent. In the resulting confusion, Naruto, Sakura, and I will sneak away into the tent and set the final explosive notes. Then at 6, boom. Up goes the camp in flames, the lead ninja panics. Kakashi focus on capturing him while we handle the remaining thugs. Naruto and Sakura just stared at Sasuke in shock. Hey, team, I think that's the most you've ever said, Naruto said with chuckle. Sakura just thought through the amazing plan in awe of Sasuke, staring at him with love-heart eyes. Smirking, Sasuke turned to Kakashi. Sound good, sensei? He asked. Kakashi nodded. I'm impressed, Sasuke. It turns out you may be a natural tactician. This goes along well with being a hunter or tracker ninja. I'd just add one thing. Every few steps, each of you must scratch your face or head. This will alert each other not to try and take you out. That would be a huge stuff up if two of you ended up attacking each other, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Hi, sensei, a recently untapped Sakura said. Sasuke grunted, apparently having spoken more than his quota today. Alright. We're gonna finish this mission for sure, Naruto cheered. Taking action, Sakura. At 5 p.m. sharp, Sakura appeared sneaking up to the leftmost tent in the clearing in the form of a field mouse. Sakura was quite lucky to find a thug who had just stepped out of view and was starting to take a piss. Sakura undid the transformation jutsu, and without making a sound stood behind the thug, kunai in hand. Am I really ready for this? Killing a defenseless man in cold blood? Sakura thought to herself while her hands shook. Shinaro, it's for the good of the mission! Inner Sakura screamed, almost causing Sakura to jump. She nodded to herself and took a deep breath. Alright, geez, she thought before taking action. Sakura wrapped her arm around his head, covering his mouth. Then plunged the kunai through his back, straight into his heart. I'm sorry, Sakura whispered to him, and with a small gurgle the man went limp in Sakura's arms. Looking close to throwing up, Sakura quietly dumped the body in one of the nearby bushes. I hope no one finds him, she thought as she placed the bloody kunai back in her pouch. Sakura then used the transformation jutsu to take the guy's form and walked back into the camp. Looking around, Sakura casually walked to what she was told was the main storage tent. I sure hope the mayor's map was accurate, she thought. It was last time. Shinaro. Okay, calm down, she thought with a sigh. Entering the tent without being disturbed, Sakura froze when she saw another thug squatting down next to a huge box of stolen money. Upon hearing her entrance, he jumped up and turned around, shaking his hands nervously. Hey man, I swear this isn't what it looks like. I would never steal from the leader's portion of the loot, honest. Please don't tell him. Sakura raised a brow while looking at him, and replied smoothly, Fine, I didn't see anything, reaching up and scratching her face 3 times to make sure the thug saw it, just in case it was one of her teammates. She realized he wasn't when he just looked back at her with an untrusting gaze. And why should I trust what you say? The thug asked, clearly suspecting Sakura to turn him into the leader. Thinking quickly, Sakura's transformed face just smirked back at him and replied, 'Cause it's the reason I'm here too. The thug's gullible smile was like a beacon of hope to Sakura. Really? Sweet. Hey listen, we can't take too much or it'll be obvious. But I've found a way to make it look like it's filled to the brim, but it's actually empty, starting about a half a meter from the top. In fact, I think someone else has tried this as well before us, the thug said as he turned back to grab more money. Sakura came up behind the man, drawing her still bloody kunai again. Hollow on the inside? How do we access it? She asked as she steeled her resolve to kill again. The thug grabbed some of the coins and shoved them in his pocket. This whole side just falls away. I only discovered it by accident. Hurry before someone ick. And he fell to the ground with a kunai lodged in the base of his neck. Sakura found the opening in the box and stuffed the corpse inside in a hurry. I hope nobody comes in, she thought. Just before closing it up, Sakura saw 4 small blocks of solid gold. Holy shit! They must be worth a fortune. Well, these thugs aren't gonna need it. So, Sakura grabbed the gold and sealed them inside a sealing capsule from Naruto's belt. Thank the log, Naruto gave Sasuke and I one of these for this mission. After placing down a few concealed explosive notes, Sakura made her way outside of the tent and moved on towards the next target on her list. Naruto. Stealthily coming up behind one of the 4 outer guards, Naruto threw a small stone at a rock on the other side of the entrance path. The 4 guards turned towards the sound with their guard up, allowing Naruto to pull the guard at the back of the formation underground soundlessly, while snatching his sword. Quickly popping up in his place, Naruto activated the transformation jutsu, taking the form of the thug he just defeated. Now what would be the best way to get to the medical tent without being found out? Naruto thought, looking at the guards returning to their calm states. He came up with a crazy idea. Naruto raised his head with a hidden smirk. Hey guys, I'm thinking of killing you all and this stupid leader, and then taking the winnings for myself. What do you think? The nearest guards looked at him incredulously. Yeah, I thought so, Naruto said with a smirk while whipping out the stolen sword. Naruto cut the throat of the 2 most nearby thugs before slashing the chest of the last one open and thrusting the sword up to the hilt through the guard. Way too easy, Naruto thought, letting out a dark chuckle. Making a thin cut on his own chest and editing his illusion to show a shallow wound there, he yelled in 2 different voices, traitor, try it then, huh? A few seconds later 2 thugs came running out of a nearby tent, swords drawn. Just at that time, Naruto dropped his last kill to the ground and stumbled back holding his chest. You too, a little help? This traitor just killed 2 men and almost took me with him. Hi Chojuro-san, Thug 1 said, putting his sword away and rushing to his aid. Hey Mubi-san, can you watch the entrance for me while I help Chojuro-san to the medical tent? Thug 1 said to Thug 2. With a small nod and a grunt, Thug 2, now called Mubi, took watch while kicking the corpses off the main path. Hurry up, you two. Thug 1 started leading Naruto to the medical tent, everyone clearing the way to let them through, so focused on the huge gash running across Chojuro's chest, nobody noticed Naruto dropping rolled-up explosive seals every now and then. Upon entering the medic tent, Thug 1 laid Naruto down on one of the cots. I know we don't have any doctors or nurses here, but I can grab some gauze for you if you want. But I ain't your babysitter, you can wrap your own wound. I'll go give the news to the leader. This is the 3rd betrayal this week. Thug 1 turned to walk away, but found himself with a sword stabbed through his chest, and a kunai through the neck. Dragging Thug 1 underground, Naruto changed his appearance to match the thug he killed. Once again, far too easy, Naruto thought as he spread a few explosive notes around the tent before heading on his way. Stepping out of the tent, another thug approached him. Hey Higure, what happened to Chojuro? Smirking at his new name, Naruto said, I'm not sure, man. He said there was a traitor, and then started babbling about seeing his life flash before his eyes. I got annoyed, so I just left. The new thug scoffed, asked Naruto in a hushed voice. Typical, you always were an asshole. Do you think it's because of the job he was sent to do yesterday? Thug asked. Naruto raised a brow. Which job? He asked. Thuggy looked at Naruto incredulously. You know, the little girl from that Bone clan? Leader has her chained up to a bed in his tent, says she'll bring about a new generation of super ninja. Naruto's face lit up in fake realization to hide his growing rage. Oh yeah, how could I forget that? Thuggy patted Naruto's shoulder. It's alright, everyone has their moments. Hey, you want me to come with you to report this? You seem a little shaken yourself. Naruto wanted to find out more about this Bone girl. Sure, let's go, he said with a nod. And with that, Naruto followed the thug to the tent of the leader. Sasuke. Alright Sasuke, remember you don't have to infiltrate. Just take out all the thugs in the outermost tents, then move in. This will train your stealth, which is vital for a hunter ninja. Get it? Kakashi spoke quietly to his pupil from inside the first tent. Sasuke scowled at his sensei. Yeah, I know, it was my idea, he said. Smiling at Sasuke, Kakashi stood straight muttering, I was just making sure, then poof. He was gone. Looking around the tent, Sasuke found something he could work with. A grappling hook on a long piece of rope. Lifting the flap of the tent to the side, Sasuke peered out to survey his surroundings. It appeared that there were 6 thugs constantly moving around this area in the worst guard formation Sasuke had ever seen. Also, there was a guard on 3 of the 8 tents in the area, and an unknown amount in each tent. Just have to wait for the opportune moment, Sasuke thought, looking at the thug closest to him, which was only in line of sight of one other thug guarding a tent. The second thug started to yawn, and closed his eyes while stretching. Now, Sasuke thought as he let the hook fly. It snagged the first thug around the neck, and with a strong heave, the thug's neck snapped and he was flung towards Sasuke. Sasuke caught the flying corpse and threw him inside the tent. By the time the second thug stopped yawning and opened up his eyes, all he saw was Sasuke plunging a kunai into his throat. Quickly taking action, Sasuke kicked the now dead thug into the tent he was guarding and dove in behind him. Only to look up and see another thug halfway through a sandwich and staring at Sasuke in shock, he tried to call out, "What the fuck?" But his neck was snapped with the grappling hook. Smirking at the grappling hook, Sasuke thought, I'm pretty good with this, maybe I should invest in training with a Kusarigama when I get back to the village. Cleaning off his kunai, Sasuke set some explosive notes in the tent before heading on to the next set of thugs. 30 minutes later, 5:45. Sakura. She finished up with her last target. The barracks now had 20 explosive seals spread throughout the sleeping bunks. Sakura made her way to the rendezvous point to meet up with what should be a disguised Naruto and Sasuke. Arriving at the chosen destination, she saw another thug walking up to the same spot from the other direction. She raised an eyebrow at him and scratched the top of her head, the agreed-upon signature for Sakura. The thug smiled and scratched the left side of his nose, meaning it was Sasuke. Standing next to each other for a few moments in silence, they both started to worry about the whereabouts of Naruto when a smaller-than-average, bug-eyed thug came running up to them. Makushi and Renmai? It's you two? Well, okay then, the thug said as he reached into his pocket and pulled out a piece of paper. Higure told me to give this to the two people I found at this location, so I guess that's you. He said it was a top-secret mission straight from Leader-sama. Raising a brow at the energetic, but seemingly crazy man, Sasuke took the note and opened it. Sasuke's eyes widened when he read the scrawl. Hey team and Sakura. I've managed to fully infiltrate the leader's tent. I thought I heard something about a prisoner in here, so I had to check it out. Start the final part of the setup without me. I'll meet up with you during Kakashi's distraction. You'll know it's me cause I'll be the thug with a backpack running from the east side of this huge-ass tent. Let's get ready to fuck this shit up. Fox. Sasuke nodded, message received. We'll start this first thing in the morning. The crazy little messenger nodded, okay, I gotta head off. There's a bunk with my name on at the barracks, later. Sakura nodded back, later. And off he went. Let's go, Sakura, it's almost time for Sensei's distraction, Sasuke said quietly. Hi Sasuke-kun, she agreed, and off they went to surround the leader's tent with low-powered explosive notes. 5:55. Kakashi. Ready for his part of the plan, Kakashi casually walked out of the woods, putting away his book and heading towards the main gate. The thug on guard, Mubi, yelled out, "Halt, stranger," drawing the attention of a few passing thugs. Kakashi just speed up slightly, now jogging while pulling out a kunai. A random thug yelled, "Shit. We have an attacking shinobi. Spread the word. Get back up quick." By this point Kakashi's jog had turned into a full-on sprint. 4 minutes to go, Kakashi thought as he slashed the throats of 3 thugs within a second. Naruto. A man ran into the leader's private tent yelling, "Sir! There is a ninja attacking our men in the courtyard." The leader jumped up. "What? When did this start?" he asked in confusion. "Just a moment ago, sir," the thug yelled. Thinking for a second, the leader said, "All men converge on the ninja. You will easily overwhelm him with your numbers. If it's not taken care of in 5 minutes, I will handle it myself," he ordered seriously. Nodding quickly, the thug yelled, "Yes, sir," before running out of the tent with the leader's private guard behind him. Leader-sama? Did you want me to fight too?" A worn-out Naruto spoke from his place next to the leader's chair. "No, Higure-san. I have one last question about what happened, then you can rest in my personal quarters with my prisoner, while I handled the moronic shinobi that dares attack my camp." Higure raised a brow, and thought, am I just that lucky? Or are all these thugs just that stupid? "Hi Leader-sama, what is it that you want to know?" The leader turned to face Naruto. "As you know, there has been 2 other traitors found this week. Both of them seem to be part of a larger plan. I think there is someone trying to overthrow me." Naruto put on a shocked expression. "What makes you say that, Leader-sama?" With a frown, he replied, "It was something they said before we killed them. What was your traitor's last words?" Naruto put on an act of concentrating really hard. "I think he said he was gonna kill us all, then you and take your cash and leg it." The leader blinked in shock. "Oh, well, that doesn't really fit with the others. Maybe this one just got greedy." Naruto nodded. "That's what I was think." "Leader-sama. "He's killing all our men," said a man running into the tent. The leader sneered at the newcomer. "Fine, I'll deal with him, but first let me grab my armor. Higure, get some rest." Naruto, or Higure, nodded. "Hi, Leader Sama." And with that, Naruto was left alone in the tent. Naruto turned to the private quarters of the leader and entered. He did not like what he saw. A young girl around 10 years of age was handcuffed to the bed. She was naked, showing her abused body, making Naruto feel sick. She looked over at him with dead eyes. That's when he noticed she was also gagged. Running over quickly, he tore off the gag and dropped his transformation jutsu, causing her eyes to sparkle in recognition. "Ninja?" she weakly asked. Naruto nodded with tears in his eyes. "Yeah, don't worry, I'll get you out of here," he said, trying to undo the handcuffs. She grabbed his wrist weakly with her own. "Please kill me," she whispered. Naruto looked down at her in shock. As she spoke, "I just wanted a happy life, to find my father, to own a pet, to live in a normal house. I wanted something simple. But now," she took a deep shuddering breath, "I know this world will only bring me pain, so please just kill me." Looking into the poor girl's eyes, Naruto saw the reflection of himself. Is this what I would have turned out like after all the beatings if Iruka-sensei didn't accept me? Or if I never met the fox? Naruto met her gaze with his own determined one. "I will save you. You won't be part of this world anymore, but you will have all that you want," Naruto promised while weaving a few hand signs. Putting his hand on her forehead, Naruto quietly stated, "Ninja art, soul drain," and absorbed her body into his own. Clutching his head, Naruto forced down the second part of his jutsu with the help of the Kyuubi. "Hurry, kid, you can come handle this when you fall asleep tonight. You must meet up with your teammates." Forcing himself up and reactivating his transformation, Naruto thought in reply, "Thanks for the help, Fox, you're right." And with that, he grabbed a backpack full of stolen cash and trophies and cut his way out of the eastern side of the tent with the stolen sword. Sasuke and Sakura. Placing down an explosive tag on the east side of the tent, Sakura turned to Sasuke, still in disguise. "That's the last of them." At that moment, a blade cut through the tent covering next to them, and out popped a thug with a backpack on. "Oh, please tell that you guys are right? Team? Sakura?" Sasuke sighed and dropped the technique. "Yeah, dope, it's us. What would you have done if it wasn't?" Naruto turned to Sasuke and scratched the back of his head sheepishly. Fuck shit up." Sakura dropped her technique with a sigh. "Naruto, you baka. We should move now," Sasuke said seriously. Naruto raised a brow at his teammate. "Why team?" Sasuke looked over towards the center of the camp. "It's 6 o'clock. And that's when the first explosion went off." Kakashi. Kakashi ducked under a spear and guided it into the stomach of another thug. He then slipped between the strikes of two swords and impaled the users on them with a simple push. Kakashi sighed. "Well, at least I'm getting in some practice," he thought. At that moment, a kunai hit the ground in front of Kakashi, causing the thugs to back up. The leading ninja stepped out of the crowd with an evil smirk. Well, a lonely ninja has wandered into our camp. "Tell me, why I shouldn't kill you right now," he said as he unsheathed a basic sword and took a fairly decent stance. Kakashi looked up at the nin. Maybe you should just turn yourself in." The leader and his band of thugs' laughter bellowed into Kakashi's ears, making him realize he was now surrounded. "I am a disciple of the great ninja Yajirobe Moku. What makes you think you can even stand up to someone of my level?" the leader said with a smile. Kakashi just raised a brow. "So you are a disciple of a Chunin, making you what, around Chunin level yourself at best. Correct?" he asked. The leader sneered at Kakashi. "Scared now, ninja?" he said mockingly. Kakashi pulled out an explosive seal stealthily as he began talking. "Not at all. At your age, I was captain of the ANBU Black Ops in the Leaf Village. Although at the moment I'm only a lowly AA ranked elite jonin. So sorry to disappoint, but I think you're a little out of your depth here," Kakashi said with an eye smile. The leader had gone pale at the Kakashi's statement. "Hi. I can tell you're lying. Just trying to intimidate me? Hoping to catch me off guard, right?" he stated nervously. Kakashi shook his head. "Not at all, although I'm sure this'll catch you off guard." With chakra pushing out of his feet, Kakashi leapt high into the air while throwing down a single kunai with an explosive seal attached to it. BOOM. The explosion set off a chain reaction for all the other seals in the camp. They exploded, killing or injuring every thug in the camp and pushing Kakashi higher into the air. Looking down, Kakashi could see the heavily burned ninja escape the worst of it with a late substitution jutsu. "Shit, I thought he'd be flung this way so I could capture him. He's on the other side of the camp." Kakashi looked where the ninja was heading and saw his squad in the ninja's path. I hope they can handle him, 'cause I'm gonna have my hands full with over 50 ticked-off thugs. Kakashi landed and sprinted back to the camp while dodging a large amount of thrown spears, many arrows and some kunai. Good luck, guys, he thought to his team. Seeing the target fleeing from the fighting scene, Team 7 sprang into action immediately. As Naruto unsealed one of his shuriken, Sasuke and Sakura jumped behind him and into the smoke of the unsealing, completely out of view as Naruto charged at the ninja. Sasuke yelled to Naruto, "Remember, we need to capture him alive, Naruto." Naruto nodded, "Yeah, I got it." Naruto jumped into the air and threw his shuriken straight at the ninja, who only just saw them charging at him. "Shit! More leaf ninja!" he yelled as he dove out of the way of Naruto's shuriken, which stuck in a nearby tree. He looked up in shock as a shuriken that was in the shadow of the first tore his arm off, causing him to scream in pain. Falling through the air, Naruto yelled, "Now, Sakura!" Hearing the call, Sakura focused the perfect amount of chakra into her feet and started skating across the ground, going at an incredible speed. As she passed the ninja, she stuck her arm out and clotheslined him with enough force to flip his body around twice and land underneath the tree-embedded shuriken on his head with a painful crack. Turning around, she yelled, "Your turn, Sasuke." Then she looked up to see the first shuriken Naruto threw poof to reveal Sasuke right above the target. "Gotcha!" Sasuke yelled as he rammed 4 kunai into the man's shoulder and leg joints, pinning him to the ground and preventing his escape. The ninja screamed before Sasuke dropped a solid knee into the ninja's sternum, knocking him out instantly. Naruto landed from his leap and gave a thumbs up to the others. Mission accomplished. Good work, team. They turned around to see Kakashi walking over to them with blood on his sleeves and a good portion of his chest. Luckily none of it was his. I must say that was one of the most stunning displays of teamwork I've ever seen. Sasuke smirked at their sensei. Would you expect anything less, sensei? With an eye smile, Kakashi spoke, "All right, team, let's head back into town to collect our payment and turn in this guy." "Hi, sensei." Waving goodbye to the chubby mayor of the small town, Team 7 was set on their way back to the Hidden Leaf Village. "All right, troops, we'll camp at the first grounds we find and tomorrow we'll do the full trip home," spoke Kakashi with an eye smile. "Hi, sensei," the team responded tiredly. Considering it was 11 o'clock at night, Kakashi thought it understandable. Finding a little clearing and Naruto unsealing the team's tent, the wiped-out team congratulated each other on a successful mission and fell asleep almost instantly, excited for the journey home and the reports they had to give to the Sandaime. Mindscape. Kit, the girl, seemed very shaken when she arrived. But she seemed to calm down once she realized she could never be hurt like that again. The fox said to Naruto upon his entrance. Naruto looked at the still battered, bruised and undressed girl, curled up on the couch asleep. "Well, I guess it's time for me to finish my technique, otherwise she'll be overwhelmed by my consciousness." Quietly approaching the girl, Naruto finished his set of hand seals and pulled on her chakra. The end result was her body falling off the couch as an empty shell while her consciousness stayed asleep on the couch, now looking much healthier without the injuries of a body. And Naruto absorbing the physical abilities of the girl. Naruto imagined a pale pink sundress on her small frame, and suddenly it was there. Picking her up, Naruto imagined a bed next to the couch, and so it appeared. Placing her down on the bed, Naruto and Mizuki had a long, decent look at her. She lay on her back in a pale pink sundress. With shoulder-length white hair, she appeared to be very young, age 8 maximum. Taking a look at her face, Naruto noticed some strange birthmarks and pointed them out to Mizuki. "Hey sensei, look at this." Mizuki looked towards her face and recognized the marks instantly. "That's the birthmarks of a Kaguya. Their warriors were legendary before they died out. Indeed, there were 2 red dots on her forehead, and her eyelids were red as well. I wonder how she survived alone like this?" She slowly woke up at Mizuki's loud statement. Seeing Naruto, she focused on him. "Ninja-san? Why didn't you kill me? They'll just come back for me again." Startled that she awoke, he turned to her. "Oh hey, I didn't expect you to be awake already." "Kit, she's just a soul now, spirits don't need to sleep." Hearing the huge voice, the girl turned around to see the Kyuubi in all its fearsome glory. "Is that a kitty? Can I have it?" Mizuki barked out a laugh and fell on his back holding his stomach, and Naruto laughed to the sky with his hands on his hips. The Kyuubi bristled. Standing on its haunches, it stuck its snout through the bars and leaned over her. "I am the almighty Kyuubi, conqueror of lands, the 9-tailed demon fox." The girl smiled and patted the end of Kyuubi's snout. "I'll call you Q-chan." This had Naruto and Mizuki falling onto the couch laughing so hard they were crying. "Eh ha 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 Kyu-chan. Ha 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 ha. Turning back to the laughing duo, she sees Mizuki for the first time. He has white hair like me, and hazel eyes so close to looking like my green ones. Walking over to a now, mostly calm Mizuki, she pulled on his shirt to get his attention. Hey mister? Mizuki looked down at her, still smiling. Yeah kiddo? Swallowing, she let out a quiet, Are you my dad? This made all of the laughing stop. Mizuki looked at the little girl in shock. I'm sorry, but no, I'm just Mizuki. I haven't had a child. Hearing this, the girl looks down to the floor sadly. Oh, I just thought, she sniffed a little, trying to hold back tears. Sorry, it doesn't matter. Mizuki looked at the sad little girl and pulled her into a hug, thinking, I don't know if I'm asking this because the QB took away all my dark emotions or if I really do care, but I can't just watch such a young child be miserable. Hey there, what's your name? With another sniffle, she spoke quietly. I don't have one, but the people that have owned me called me different things. My favorite was Naomi. Smiling at Naomi, Mizuki asked, I know I'm not your biological dad, but if you want I can be your dad for as long as we're here together. Naomi's eyes lit up, smiling at Mizuki. Really? Mizuki picked her up in another hug. Of course, Naomi-chan. With happy tears in her eyes, she hugged him with all her strength. Ota-san. Naruto looked at Kyubi. Well, this is unexpected, indeed. You want to eat her body while she's distracted? Oh yes. I've been waiting for another meal. Stealthily grabbing the corpse, Naruto threw his between the bars where Kyubi swallowed it whole to avoid making too much noise. Naruto approached the new family. So Naomi, you seem to recognize a ninja technique pretty quickly. Is it possible that you knew because you can do some yourself? Naomi turned in Mizuki's arms to face Naruto. Yeah, but only the 3 things that my first owner taught me. The fox hummed in disappointment. It seems you will only be able to use her bloodline ability for what she was capable of when you did your jutsu kit. It is unfortunate that you won't be able to advance such an incredible bloodline further. Mizuki put Naomi down in front of him. So what can you do, Naomi-chan? Fiddling nervously, Naomi pointed at the wall near Kyubi's cage. Bone bullet. She exclaimed, shooting her finger bone at the wall at an incredible speed that Kyubi was barely able to follow, making a large crack in the wall as the bone drilled into the wall. Naruto opened his eyes wide in shock. WOH, that was awesome. Mizuki smiled at his daughter with pride. That is amazing, Naomi-chan. Smiling, Naomi shouted, I can do more. Hidden bone. A sharp bone poked out of the underside of her wrist joint and extended forward about the length of a kunai. Getting Naruto's attention, Kyubi said, Kid, that skill would be perfect for up-close combat. And with the bone bullets as well, you'll never have to buy kunai again. Grinning at the information, Naruto said, Oh man, this is gonna be so sweet. I can do one more, but you can't see it, Naomi said to the 3 others. Mizuki blinked in shock. Huh? Why not? Naomi grinned. Because I'm doing it right now. The 3 just looked at her in confusion. Doing what, Naomi? Naruto asked. The armor of bone jutsu. It's a defensive technique that creates and moves plates of bone underneath the skin of the whole body to make an armor everywhere at once. When I was learning this technique, a stray kunai hit me right in the belly and bounced off, barely even leaving a small cut that didn't even bleed. It didn't hurt at all, Naomi explained with an even bigger smile, if that was even possible anymore. Picking Naomi up and cheering, Naruto yelled, YTTA. Noon will stop me now, Naomi-chan. Thanks a ton. With these new skills, no enemy will stand in my way. Putting Naomi down, Naruto turned to the other 2. The sun's coming up now. I'm gonna go practice before my team wakes up. CYA next time I'm asleep. He then ran down the corridor and into his body, excited of the use of the new skills. Naomi pulled on Mizuki's arm again. Hey Tu-san? What is Ninja-san's name anyways? Mizuki smirked and sat on the couch with Naomi by his side. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, and at the rate he's growing, he will be Hokage one day. Getting up, Naruto looked around to see that Sasuke had left the tent. Probably more training. Hey, he does owe me a spar. Climbing out of the tent, Naruto saw Sasuke standing upside down on a tree branch doing crunches. Morning team, Naruto said. Sasuke just grunted in reply before doing 2 more and dropping down in front of Naruto. Morning Dobe, did you realize you sometimes talk in your sleep? At that, Naruto looked at Sasuke thinking, oh shit, what did I say? What did he hear? I'm so dead. What do you mean, Sasuke? As I was walking out of the tent, I heard you mumble, with these new skills, no enemy will stand in my way. Did you uncover a secret technique or something on the mission? Sasuke asked point blank, forcing Naruto to give him a straight answer. Naruto started to panic. Crap, double crap, crap on a stick. What do I tell him? Kit, just repeat after me, okay? Turning to Sasuke, Naruto spoke. Well, in all honesty, Sasuke, I'm a little freaked out. You remember when I thought there was a prisoner in that ninja's tent? Sasuke nodded in confusion. Well, I was half right. When I entered to where the prisoner was, there was just a bleeding dead guy sitting there. But when I went to check his pulse, I slipped in his blood and some of it ended up getting into a cut I made on my chest earlier on in the thug camp. And well, it hurt a lot. Sasuke raised a brow and said, so? You think you may have contracted something you can use from his blood as a weapon? Scratching the back of his head, Naruto looked at Sasuke seriously. I don't think. I know. And in a dramatic movement, Naruto whipped out his new hidden bones and showed them to Sasuke. I did it by accident when I was in the tent grabbing the attention of a thug, and on instinct, I leapt at him and the bones slid into his skin so easily. But he screamed, drawing the attention of the last thug in the tent. I turned and pointed at him, and suddenly, Naruto pointed to a nearby tree and shot off a bone bullet. That happened. Sasuke just looked between Naruto and his new weapons in shock. Is that seriously your bones? Nodding, Naruto faked fear. I don't know what to do, Sasuke. What if my bones keep growing out of me? I mean, I've noticed they grow back almost instantly, but seriously. This sucks. Sasuke grabbed Naruto's shoulder and slapped him. Keep it together, Naruto, this team needs you. I don't care if you randomly shoot bones from your body, and neither will Sakura. You're our teammate, Naruto, and honestly you're my brother now. I will always help you like you've done for me. Alright? Now pull yourself together. Naruto looked at Sasuke in real shock. You think of me as a brother? Scowling, Sasuke replied, yeah, I don't know when it happened, but the fact remains that this team is the last thing I have left. I will protect the last of my new family with all that I am. Naruto sat in silence before hugging Sasuke with tears in his eyes. Thanks, Aniki. I've never had a family. Looking up at Sasuke's face, Naruto realized Sasuke was glaring at him with red eyes. Just because you're my Otuto doesn't mean I won't hurt you. Get off. Now. Naruto jumped away just as Sakura and Kakashi jumped out of the tent because they heard Sasuke yelling. Naruto, Sasuke, what happened? Why were you yelling? Kakashi asked, his eyes scanning the trees for any possible threat. Looking up at their sensei, Sasuke said, nothing's wrong, Naruto just startled me. Sakura looked at Sasuke's eyes. Sasuke-kun, your eyes are red. That caught Kakashi's attention, causing him to look at Sasuke's eyes. What Kakashi saw shocked him. Sasuke, you've activated your Sharingan. Sasuke's eyes turned to Kakashi. Really? I think I'd know if I activated my own bloodline, sensei. Look at me, Sasuke, I want you to watch this. Kakashi said, running through hand signs, ninja art, chameleon jutsu. Now Sasuke, walk over to where I'm pointing. Naruto, Sakura, be quiet. Sasuke walked over to where Kakashi was pointing. How is this meant to prove I have my Sharingan? Kakashi nodded. The Sharingan automatically sees through Genjutsu, and you just saw through mine. Naruto, Sakura, I want you to walk over to where I'm pointing now. Naruto frowned while Sakura said, but sensei, we can't see you, you disappeared once you used that Genjutsu. Undoing the Genjutsu, Kakashi turned back to Sasuke. Now do you remember that jutsu I just performed? Yeah, I want you to tell me about it. Confused, Sasuke suddenly realized he knew how to do the jutsu flawlessly and all the details about the jutsu itself. The jutsu uses chakra to manipulate the signals between a target's senses and their brain to make it appear as if the user doesn't exist. How do I know that, sensei? Kakashi, I smiled. That's the power of the first stage Sharingan. Names and details? Kakashi Hatake and Team 7 returning from C-Rank cleanup mission. Looking up from his clipboard, Izumo smiled at Kakashi. Welcome home, you guys, and 3 days earlier than expected too. Nice work. Naruto smiled at the gate guard. Thanks, Izumo-san. Sasuke just grunted out his classic HN, while Sakura's face lit up with happiness at being praised. Izumo smiled back to them. Don't need to thank someone for telling the truth, the Hokage'll be waiting for you. You know how he is. Thanks, Izumo, said Kakashi. We'll be on our way. Catch y'all later. Izumo nodded. CYA. Taking the first few steps into the village, Kakashi turned to his team. Alright guys, we'll head to the Hokage Tower and report the full mission, then everyone go home and clean up. We'll have some light training this afternoon, and then I'll buy dinner. Consider it a reward for your first successful C-Rank. Hi sensei, the team chanted back, happy with the idea. Smiling at the others in her team, Sakura jumped onto a nearby rooftop. Racia there. And off she ran. Running after her, Naruto yelled, "Hey, you cheated! No head start!" That's when Sasuke flew past him. "Aniki, wait up!" Kakashi was shocked at how Naruto addressed Sasuke, and many nearby villagers threw insults at Naruto, saying things like, "How dare that demon try to befriend our Uchiha? Yeah, trash shouldn't mix with treasure." Kakashi appeared behind the two gossiping villagers. "Excuse me, what did you say about my students?" he said casually with a kunai knife in hand. The villagers turned scowling until they saw that they were talking to a jonin. "Oh, nothing at all, sir. Yeah, we were talking about the birds." "Yes, the birds." Kakashi just looked at them. "That was the worst lie I have ever heard, and I lie at least twice a day. Usually about the reasons I'm late for things." Kakashi put away his knife as he trailed slowly behind his students. Sakura arrived at the door to the Hokage's office and turned around to wait for the other two. They arrived 10 seconds later, neck and neck. "I totally won that one, Aniki." Sasuke just smirked. "In your dreams, Otuto." "Actually, boys, I won," said Sakura with a curious grin. "Why are you guys calling each other brothers?" To cover up his brother's bravado, Naruto stepped up with a huge grin. "Well, Sakura, since I grew up without a family, I started to see our team as a family. Sasuke finally accepted me and lets me refer to him as my older brother cause he understands the pain of not having a family member." Shocked at Naruto's confession, Sakura just replied with a highly intelligent, "Oh." Trying to diffuse the awkward silence, Sasuke started, "So where do you think Kakashi-sensei is?" At that moment the door to the Hokage's office opened and Kakashi stuck his head into the hallway. "Ah, there you are. I was wondering when you three would get here. Come in quickly, you've kept Hokage-sama waiting long enough." Pointing at Kakashi in shock, Naruto attempted to speak. "What dash? How did you? But we were dash? What the?" With the help of Sakura, Sasuke managed to pull Naruto into the office and sit him between them on the long chair against the wall. "I think you broke him, sensei." Kakashi smiled at Sasuke and said, "Good. That way he won't interrupt my report." The Hokage watched on in amusement. It's hard to believe this team has only been together for such a short amount of time. Clearing his throat, Sarutobi returned everyone's attention to him. "Right, Team 7, what is the status of your mission?" Kakashi smiled, "Completely successful, with a large bonus." "Congratulations are in order then, I suppose." "Kakashi, I think this report would be better if you filled it properly instead of just telling me your interpretation. Here is some paper, get cracking." Kakashi just looked at the paper with unblinking eyes. Are you sure, Hokage-sama? I could just tell you what happened." With a wizened smile, the Hokage waved of Kakashi. Sighing in defeat, Kakashi turned to his team. "Alright guys, meet up at our training grounds in 2 hours. Until then you're free, ciao." And Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto turned to the Hokage. "Hey Gigi, can we talk to you for a second?" Raising an eyebrow in curiosity, Sarutobi replied, "Sure guys, what's wrong?" Naruto and Sakura both looked at Sasuke. With a sigh, Sasuke looked at the Hokage and sent chakra to his eyes. "The Sharingan?" Sarutobi asked, quite stunned. "I must say, Sasuke, it's quite amazing for you to have activated it at such an age. But I guess it's time now," said Sarutobi, while reaching into one or the many drawers in his desk. Sasuke frowned in confusion. "Time for what, Hokage-sama?" With an aged smile, the Hokage pulled out a scroll with the Uchiha symbol on it. "After the incident involving your clan, the council and I decided that throughout the stages in your life you will receive one of the scrolls left by your clan. This one teaches about the visual genjutsu used by your clan. Once you master these genjutsu, your Sharingan should have increased into the second stage. At that time I will give you the advanced fire jutsus of your clan and the second stage sword scrolls." Looking at the scroll in shock, Sasuke thought hard. "Thank you, Hokage-sama. But when it comes to the sword style, could I swap it for the scrolls on tracking?" The Hokage looked at Sasuke in shock. "Tracking? I didn't know that was where your interest lies, Sasuke-kun. Alright, that's acceptable. Master those visual jutsu and I'll have the next scrolls ready for you." With a smirk, Sasuke bowed to Sarutobi. "Domo arigato, Hokage-sama." Sarutobi smiled back. "It's the least I can do for the shinobi of my village. Is there anything else you need, Team 7? Naruto looked up. "Gigi? I got a question about a couple of jutsu I recently stumbled across," said Naruto seriously. Sarutobi's eyes widened in recognition. "Of course, Naruto-kun, we can discuss that now if you want. Privately?" he said pointedly, looking at Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke got the message. "Alright, Otoro, we'll get out of your way. Come on, Sakura." "Hi, Sasuke-kun," So long, she hesitated, looking hopefully at Naruto. Ni-san? Naruto froze in shock before smiling widely and hugging Sakura. He whispered, see you later, Oni-chan. Stepping away from the hug with a smile, Sakura bowed to the Hokage and grabbed Sasuke's hand and ran out of the office, waving to Naruto. Sarutobi watched the scene with a happy smile. It seems your little family is starting to grow, Naruto-kun. Turning back to the old Kage, Naruto replied, yeah Gigi, they're finally accepting me for who I am. I'm happy for you, Naruto. Do you remember the promise you made me when you became a genin? Sarutobi asked, his smile slowly becoming a frown. Tilting his head to the side, Naruto asked, yeah Gigi, how could I forget? I took those words as my nindo. I will protect the village and the will of fire no matter what, and I know my team will help me. And what if a member of your team tries to extinguish the village's fire, Naruto? That question froze him. What do you mean, old man? They'd never do that, I know they wouldn't. But what would you do? Naruto stared at the desk in front of the Hokage, stuck in his thoughts. How could I choose between my family and my village? Kyuubi, I need some help. Just answer me this, kid. Would you want someone in the next generation to live like you have? Alone? Hearing the Kyuubi's question, the answer to Sarutobi's became clear. Making eye contact with the Hokage, Naruto answered seriously. I'll do whatever it takes to ensure the will of fire lives on into the next generation. I will burn through all forces that try to extinguish the fire. And I will rise on top. Sarutobi leant back in his chair. Good, Naruto. Now what abilities did you gain from this absorption? Naruto raised his arm and out came the hidden bone. I have 3 prize techniques from the deceased Kage clan, wielders of the dead bone pulse bloodline. Sarutobi's eyes widened in shock. That will help you immensely on your path as a shinobi assassin, Naruto-kun. Thank you for making our village stronger. Do you know if it'll pass on through your genetics? Sarutobi's mind raced with the possibility of restarting the legendary Kage clan in Konoha. Naruto nodded. Kyuubi-san seems to think so, but my descendants will start with this level of control and it'll be extremely hard for them to advance any farther. Heck, I can't at all. Good work, Naruto. Whatever cover story you come up with, I will back it up. Now you are dismissed. Tell Kakashi at training tonight to come back tomorrow if he wants another C rank. Sarutobi spoke. Bowing, Naruto finished with Hi Hokage Gigi, see you tomorrow. Before diving through the floor of the Hokage's office with his jutsu. Locking the door of his apartment, Naruto starts walking to the designated meeting spot for the team only an hour late. Arriving at the scene, Naruto looks up to see Sasuke already waiting. Naruto raises his hand and is about to yell a greeting, when a pink blur speeds past Sasuke and tackles Naruto to the ground in a massive hug. Wow, Nei-chan, are you getting faster? Naruto asked, taking deep breaths from the painful glomp. He looked down and saw Sakura's taped mouth and puffy eyes. She'd been crying recently. Nei-chan? Sasuke was the one to answer him. I told her about your condition, you know, with the bones. Looking at Naruto's face, she asked MMF. Helping Sakura back up onto her feet, Naruto taped her mouth shut. Yeah, it hurts a little, but I'm getting used to it, and besides it's nowhere near as painful as Iruka-sensei's history lectures. Even with the tape on, the boys could see Sakura's smile reach her eyes. MMF? Yes, really, actually I wanted to tell you guys about the Hokage's theory on how this happened, said Naruto, remembering the story he and Kyuubi fabricated during the small break. Appearing in a puff of smoke, Kakashi started. That sounds like it would be a good idea, Naruto. In fact, we will go around the group and discuss how you each think the second part of the mission went, starting with you, Naruto. Hi, Sensei, Naruto said with a nod. Well, my part in the mission went pretty much exactly as I planned up until I replaced someone who held some power inside the group. Then it got pretty interesting. Naruto thought back to the mission and recalled his cover-up version. The big bad leader ninja asked to see me to discuss the betrayal of the man I originally posed as, and he just asked me these really random questions until Kakashi-sensei's distraction started. Which the leader ninja forgot about me and rushed out to the battle. So I snuck around placing explosive seals under all the important-looking stuff. I was doing well until I came to the private quarters of the ninja. There was a dead guy just dumped in the corner of the room. I didn't realize he was dead at first, but well, Naruto trailed off, forgetting where his story went after that. Fortunately, Sasuke thought that Naruto was just having difficulty retelling the traumatizing event. It's okay, Otuto, I'll tell him the rest. Naruto just nodded. Turning to their sensei, Sasuke told Kakashi what he was told by Naruto. Naruto slipped in the blood and some of it entered a cut on his chest. Naruto said it was extremely painful for some reason. After dropping a few more explosive seals, he fought off 2 thugs that attacked him with some new abilities of his. then cut his way through the tent till he found us. Kakashi raised a brow at Naruto. New abilities? Naruto whipped his hand to the side and shot 2 bone bullets through a nearby tree. I have 3 abilities from the Kagaya clan. The Hokage said that the dead guy must have been a Kagaya, and his blood entering my body awakened some latent DNA in me and activated a watered-down version of their bloodline. Kakashi just stared at Naruto in shock. Well, that's certainly not something you see every day. Turning to the kunoichi of the team, your turn I guess, Sakura, she nodded as she finally pulled the tape from her face. Hi sensei, well, practically speaking, my part of the plan was executed flawlessly. With only one small change, which only affects our bank accounts, Sakura stated with a smirk. Raising an eyebrow, Kakashi asked, what do you mean, Sakura? Whipping out the sealing capsule Naruto had let her use on the mission, Sakura unsealed 4 full bars of gold. Giggling at the boys' shocked faces, she said, I reckon 1 each? Kakashi stared at the gold bar Sakura just handed to him. Sakura, just 1 of these bars would be enough to buy a whole clan compound and renovate the whole thing. Sakura stuck her tongue out jokingly. Well, I guess we won't be doing missions for the pay for a long time, nay? Sasuke looked at his bar and whispered, maybe I can afford it after all, but Naruto heard him. Afford what, Aniki? Sasuke looked up and realized everyone's attention was on him. With a sigh he started, well, I guess it's time for my report, right, sensei? At Kakashi's nod, Sasuke began. My part of the plan went perfectly. Exactly as planned, I also found a certain weapon I may have a calling for. What do you mean, Sasuke-kun? Asked Sakura. I found a grappling hook and used it for over 3/4 of my kills, using it to grab, ensure and kill thugs left and right. The only actual weapon I've seen that may work the way I use the hook is a Kuzurigama. That's what I was hoping on buying and learning to use. Sasuke turned to their sensei. Is there anyone you know that may be able to help me learn, sensei? Scratching the back of his head, Kakashi was ashamed to admit, sorry Sasuke, I really have no idea about a weapon like that. Naruto looked up excitedly. I may know someone who could help. His name is Dan Higurashi. He owns a weapons store around here. Kakashi looked at his students. Maybe instead of training Naruto could take us to this weapons store, and we can hopefully help out Sasuke. And maybe even find a weapon for Sakura. Sasuke's eyes sparkled in excitement. Let's go, lead the way, Ototo. Jumping to his feet, Naruto was about to run to the Higurashi ninja store when Kakashi grabbed his shoulder. Maybe we should cash these in first, Kakashi said, holding up his gold bar. Ding-ling. Hearing the door to his shop open, Dan Higurashi started his sales pitch. Good afternoon and welcome to the Higurashi ninja store. We have all your Hello Naruto. How are ya? Smiling at Naruto and his team from behind the counter, Dan noticed Kakashi standing at the back of the group. Hey there Kashi, how long's it been since I saw you? Scratching the back of his head sheepishly, Kakashi chuckled. Let's see, must have been the last time I was dragged into a council meeting. Dan rolled his eyes. You weren't dragged in. You were late for a mission, causing it to be failed. And you couldn't give a good reason for doing so. Looking up and thought, oh yeah, that's right. Interrupting the adults' conversation, Naruto yelled, hey Dan. My teammates need help finding a weapon to specialize in, think you can help? Dan took stock of the 2 genin. Of course I can, and since they're your teammates I think I can give you a discount. What do you kids need? Sasuke stepped up first. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, not kid. Dan brow raised, the last Uchiha? You've come to the right place. Seeing Sasuke's confused place, Dan explained, when you clan was shall he say reduced in number? Yeah, well, many of their kata scrolls become public domain. This seemed like a prize for your average non-clan ninja, but the problem was that no one could use them efficiently without the Sharingan, so people started selling them. And well, I'm a bit of a collector. He gestured to the large rack on his left, and waved Sasuke over. Sasuke was in awe at how many of the scrolls had the Uchiha clan fan on them. These were all from my family? Grinning down at Sasuke, Dan said, yeah, I was actually a close friend of your uncle's. He was an odd one, but he wrote most of these scrolls. You see, he was a ninja tool specialist. Sasuke looked up at Dan in shock. Uncle Shozatsu was a ninja tool specialist? Sure was. Sasuke tried to remember his deceased uncle, but other than the fact he was a very serious man, Sasuke couldn't recall that much. Seeing the look of loss on Sasuke's face, Dan patted his shoulder to get Sasuke's attention. You know, if you ever want to hear about him, feel free to come by. I'll be glad to share some of my memories with you. Sasuke suddenly felt a small weight float off of his shoulders. Arigato Higurashi-san. Letting out a boom of a laugh, Dan exclaimed, Higurashi-san? Haha, you sound just like your Uncle Oswell. Please just call me Dan. Sasuke shook his head, smirking. Nah, I think I'll follow in my uncle's footsteps, Higurashi-san. Smiling down at Sasuke, he asked, So what weapon do you need, Sasuke-kun? A lot of the Uchiha were versed in swordplay. Will you be choosing that, Oswell? Smirking, Sasuke replied, No thanks, Higurashi-san. I'll leave the cleaving and cutting to Naruto. I was wondering, do you sell any Kuzurigama? Dan's face lit up in happiness. Now that's a rare request. I have exactly what you need, Sasuke. It was actually wielded by your uncle. Let me grab it for you. While you wait, look at these two scrolls. The first is the Leaf Village's style of using it, and the second is the scroll made by your uncle, including his special fire jutsu and techniques that work with the Kuzurigama. Dan grabbed two scrolls from the shelf and gave them to Sasuke before walking over to Sakura, who was looking over tools on the wall in curiosity. See anything that catches your eye? Dan asked. Sakura frowned. Not really, Dan-san. I don't really know what I'm looking for. Dan thought for a second. Say, why don't you come with me out the back while I grab Sasuke's weapon? I got a huge display of every possible weapon you could think of. Sakura smiled, looking hopeful at Dan. That would be great. Thanks. Heading into the back, Sakura looked around in awe at all the weapons. Each weapon laid on one of the 7 shelves, with a picture of them in action underneath them, leading all the way around the massive room, only stopping for 2 other doors. Just have a look around, and if you see something you like, tell me and we can test it out for you, said Dan as he picked up a small case from inside one of the other rooms. I've got to give this to Sasuke. And with that, Dan walked back out the front to where Sasuke was leaning against the counter with his uncle's scroll in hand. This is it, Sasuke, Dan said, getting the attention of the 3 people in the room, while sliding the case across the counter. Reaching out to the case, Sasuke popped it open and pulled out a chain from the inside. Sasuke looked at either end of the chain and noticed 2 seals on each of the last links. This was my uncle's? Nodding proudly, Dan said, Do you want to test it out or? I'll buy it now. Alrighty. Handing over a large wad of cash to Dan, he asked, I assume the seals are storing either end of the weapon? Dan winked while handing Sasuke his change and a piece of paper. You got it. Here's some notes show had on the seals used on this baby. Trust me, it can do much more than you think. Reading the piece of paper, Sasuke grabbed one end of the chain and pressed it to his chest. Glowing for a second with chakra, the chain suddenly wrapped itself around Sasuke's torso, over his left shoulder, and around to his right hip. Picking up his scrolls, Sasuke bowed deeply to Dan. Arigato, Higurashi-san. Dan was about to reply when they all heard Sakura's yell of, These are perfect. They turned to see Sakura running out of the room with new red bracelets on her forearms and on her biceps. On each of her pointer fingers was a little red ring. Dan-san, can I purchase these? Smiling at the girl's excitement, Dan said, Of course, Sakura-chan, but don't you want to show your teammates what they are first? Nodding quickly, Sakura held her arms out to the side and sent chakra into each new accessory. A seal on each band glowed for a second before Sakura's arms disappeared in a rainbow glow. When she swung them out of the glow, Sakura showed her new weapons to her teammates. On each arm, a long red and black painted steel bracer followed from her wrist to halfway up her biceps. On her hands, she had completely steel gloves which somehow didn't restrict her movement at all. They ended in sharp claws that extended about an inch past her fingers. Dan asked Sakura, Did you grab the information sheet sitting under the weapon? Nodding, Sakura pulled out the sheet. It says these arm braces are chakra conductive, meaning if I send plain chakra through them they'll get much stronger, and if I send my elemental chakra through them, they'll gain a special property depending on which type it is. Looking back at the sheet again, Sakura read they also carry a paralyzing agent in the claws, so I'll have to buy a few bottles of that agent in case the claws empty out, but they only release the agent when I want them to. Kakashi nodded appreciatively as Sakura deactivated the braces, returning them to being red bands on her arms and fingers. Great choice, Sakura. Dan looked on a little worried, but Sakura, did you see the price tag? It may be a bit more than. Sakura pulled out 4 wads of cash and put them on the shop counter. Would you like a second pair? Dan said as his eyes lit up with dollar signs. Laughing at Dan, Sakura grabbed a set of chakra weights from a shelf near the counter. I don't think that'll be necessary, but these weights would be useful. Do I need to pay more or is that still enough? The dollar signs gleamed in the light. It's still more than enough, walking bank. I mean, Sakura-chan. Dan said, grinning oddly at her. Backing away slightly, Sakura said, keep the change then. Laughing at Sakura and Dan's interaction, the boys of Team 7 started dragging their sensei out the door. Thanks a lot, Dan. We'll come back again soon, okay? Maybe I'll bring more friends next time. The dollar signs grew larger. Great idea, Naruto. Bring all your rich friends here. Sakura followed the boys out, closing the door behind her. Arigato Dan-san, we'll see you later. And off they went. Sitting down and staring at the 4 huge wads of cash in front of him, Dan grabbed the top one and started flicking through, counting out the cash with a huge grin on his face. Thank the log for little ninjas and their growing need for weapons. Alright guys, did you want to stay in the village for a while and do D ranks? Or ask Hokage-sama for a C rank? Sasuke just looked at their sensei. No D ranks. Never again. Naruto and Sakura nodded in agreement. Sweat dropping at his students, Kakashi said, okay. Well, we could grab one tomorrow morning. That way we can go over the mission setup, plan for what's gonna happen, and leave in the afternoon. Naruto smiled up at Kakashi. Or you could go grab the mission straight from the Hokage himself right now, and meet up with us for dinner at Ichiraku's. Sakura thumped Naruto on the head. Nibaka. We're not going to Ichiraku's again. Sasuke looked up at his sensei, but Otudo has a good idea about the mission. We'll wait here for you, sensei. Go grab one. Quick. Kakashi sighed. You all want a mission so soon? They nodded. Alright, fine. I'll meet you guys in the Falling Leaf. It's just a few blocks over and it's a pretty decent place. Also, I think it has ramen too, the Falling Leaf. Naruto yelled and ran down the street. Sakura yelled to the distant Naruto, you're going the wrong way. Damn, he didn't hear me. Kakashi-sensei, go get the mission. Sasuke-kun, go get us a table, and I'll go get our Naruto. K? Sasuke just grunted out a HN while walking away, and Kakashi managed a chow. And poofed into smoke. Smiling at the situation, Sakura sent Chakra to her feet and skated at an incredible speed after Naruto. With Kakashi appearing at the mission hall in his signature puff of smoke, Kakashi realized the active missions were closed for the day, and everyone was packing up. Ah, Kakashi, what brings you here so late? Turning, Kakashi saw the Hokage, who was getting ready to leave for his office. Ah, Hokage-sama, my team wanted me to grab tomorrow's mission tonight so that we can discuss plans and tactics before heading out tomorrow. Gesturing to a stack of scrolls, the Hokage stated, unfortunately you were late. Again. So all the missions are packed up. The Hokage was interrupted by a knock at the door, and a semi-nervous old drunk guy poked his head through the opening. Excuse me, I was told I could find the leader of this super village here? With a grin, the Hokage tilted his hat to the man. I thank you for referring to my village as super. I am the Hokage. How may I help you? Stumbling in shock, the man stood up straight. Oh, sorry, I was hoping I could apply for a C-rank escort mission? That's the cheapest you've got, right? The Hokage nodded to Kakashi. I think you've found your mission, Kakashi. Turning back to Tazuna, he said, this is one of my Jonin, Kakashi. He leads the best team of genin we currently have. Would that be enough protection, mister? Smiling, the man said, Tazuna the bridge builder. And I think a Jonin and his squad would be super. I smiling to Tazuna, Kakashi said, well, Tazuna-san, tell me where we're going and when you want to go, and we'll be ready to head off. Grinning at the thought of a full squad of battle-hardened ninja, Tazuna said, first thing in the morning would be super. We'll be heading to the land of waves so I can build my bridge. Can you look after me until I'm done? Nodding, Kakashi answered, of course, Tazuna-san. We will see you at the main gate at 7 am. Not a moment later. The Hokage turned to Kakashi, and if anyone is late, I'll see to it that their favorite book is set on fire. Right, Kakashi? Gulping, Kakashi replied. Oh, of course, Hokage-sama, seems fair. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a team to track down and inform them of the mission tomorrow. Ja. And off he poofed. With Sasuke wailing up to the maitre d' of the Falling Leaf, Sasuke asked, a table for me and my team? Recognizing Sasuke as the last Uchiha, the man nodded straight away with a smile on his face. Of course, Sasuke-sama, right this way. Rolling his eyes at the Sama, Sasuke followed the man to booth next to a window facing the Hokage monument. Thanks. A waiter approached the table. Can I get you something to drink while you wait for these teammates of yours, Sasuke-sama? Just some water will do for now, with the order placed. The waiter and the maitre d' bowed and walked away. Without the distraction, Sasuke looked out the window and thought, I know I vowed to avenge my clan, but the only way to do so without my team would be to steal others' strengths with my Sharingan. I won't do that. I won't steal from my comrades. Having a small epiphany, Sasuke thought, I wonder when my teammates became special to me? I used to just think of them as tools to help with my cause, but now, I can't imagine my life without them. They're my new family. At his Sasuke let a real smile appear on his face. Making a decision, Sasuke vowed. Screw Itachi, I have a new Nindo. I will protect my family, I will help them progress through life. Hopefully they will return the favor when it comes to Itachi, but they are the most important thing. I will never risk their safety. Sasuke's thought was interrupted by a ruckus at the entrance to the establishment. Turning to see what was going on, Sasuke turned livid. With Sakura and Naruto. The house is full, we don't serve demons, the maitre d' said, scowling at Naruto. Sakura was about to punch the guy in the face when Naruto stopped her, shaking his head. Sorry, I'll be going then. Sakura-ne-chan, go and sit with Aniki. I'll just go home, I got some food there. Sakura looked at Naruto in shock, while the maitre d' sneered at him. That's right, demon. Get out of here. The man suddenly fell forward, with Sasuke standing with a foot on his back. Everyone in the restaurant stopped what they were doing and stared in shock at him. Sasuke's waiter ran over to him. Sasuke-sama, what are you doing? Sasuke ignored the waiter and looked at Naruto's shocked but scared face. I will protect my family, even I don't know why he's treated like this. I will protect him from the pain. I want everyone to listen to me, now. The staff, customers and even some people outside looked on in shock at the quiet Sasuke raising his voice. Sasuke stepped off of the maitre d' and walked to stand in front of Naruto. Placing his hand on Naruto's shoulder, Sasuke looked around the establishment. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, you treat my teammate like scum for some unknown reason. Well, I've had enough. The nearby staff stepped away in shock. I don't care what the reason is, I don't care what he's done or what you believe him to be. If you dare treat Naruto Uzumaki, my Otuto, the way you have been, you will find yourself buried in so much shit you won't be able to breathe. Sasuke's waiter stuttered, but he's the demon. Wham! Sasuke appeared in front of the waiter with his fist buried in the dry wall next to the waiter's head. Care to repeat that? The man dropped the water he had been holding for Sasuke in fear. Sakura walked up to Sasuke, who was crying in rage, glaring at the man in front of him. Come on, Sasuke-kun, let's go, she said, pulling Sasuke's bleeding fist and leading him over to a crying Naruto. She led the two out of the restaurant before turning back to all the people staring at her. With a dark sneer, Sakura looked at all of them. What he said, she paused, activating her right arm gauntlet, causing everyone nearby to step back in fear. Goes double for me. And with that, Sakura turned and walked out while punching the door off of its hinges. Back with Kakashi. Kakashi appeared in his classic poof of smoke and was about to walk into the falling leaf when the door suddenly flew off its hinges and down the street. He watched on in shock as Sakura stormed off down the street, deactivating one of her gauntlets. Oh my, that can't be good. Kakashi looked at where Sakura was heading to see a crying Naruto with Sasuke patting on the back while glaring at everyone that looked at them. Holy log, what happened? Kakashi poofed next to Naruto and Sasuke just as Sakura arrived next to them. What happened, guys? Sasuke looked at Kakashi and said, let's just go to Ichiraku's. I'm not a fan of that place. Me either, Sakura nodded in agreement with Sasuke. It was cramping my style. Looking at Naruto's face, Kakashi figured out what had happened. Shit, they must have refused Naruto's entry. I hope Sakura and Sasuke's actions didn't escalate to bad. Standing up straight, Kakashi said, Ma, I guess you two are right. That place's ramen pales in comparison to Tuchi's anyway. Let's go. Sasuke pulled Naruto to his feet and let him stand on his own. You alright, Otudo? Naruto smiled sadly at Sasuke first, then the others. Yeah, I'm good, thank you guys. I'm sorry that happened. Kakashi patted Naruto on the shoulder. You can apologize later. My offer to pay for your dinner runs out at midnight, so let's hurry along, ne? Smiling, Sakura grabbed Naruto's hand and pulled him along. Let's get going then. Last one there is a rotten egg. Naruto smiled happily this time and said, yeah, last one there has to buy next time. And with that, Naruto ran off after the quickly escaping Sakura. Sasuke turned to Kakashi. You're just gonna poof there once I leave, aren't you? Kakashi looked down at Sasuke. Poof? I don't poof anywhere, it's called a shunshin and it goes like this. Kakashi disappeared in a poof of smoke. Damn it! Sasuke yelled and started sprinting at full speed towards Ichiraku's. At least I know I made the right choice. I will protect my family. Arriving at the gate, Sakura looked up to see her team waiting for her. Mornin', how'd you sleep? Kakashi looked up from his book and nodded to Sakura. Perfectly adequate, thank you for asking, Sakura. Sasuke just grunted with a smirk towards her. While Naruto jumped up full of energy as usual. Fantastic. I dreamed I was gonna become a swords master and completed my goal of becoming Konoha's top assassin. A shrimp like you? An assassin? I think you're in a little over your head, Blondie, said Tazuna, walking up to the group. Looking over at Kakashi, Tazuna asked, Hey Kakashi-san, where is your team of Super Genin? Glaring at Tazuna, Naruto shouted, That's US old man. Tazuna looked at the Genin in shock. These kids are the ninjas supposed to guard me? Oh no, what have I done? Noticing the tension of Tazuna's shoulders, Kakashi stated to suspect something. Tazuna was fine when he thought a team of super ninja was guarding him. But now that he's seen their age, he underestimates them, which shows his fear of inadequate protection. Now, why would that be since he knows I will be guarding as well? Maybe he suspects more than thugs are going to be after him? Turning to his team, Kakashi said, Alright guys, remember what we discussed last night, Formation 1. The Genin's faces turned serious, Hi Sensei, and stood in a reverse pyramid formation around Tazuna with Kakashi crouching in front of Tazuna, Sasuke to the left, Naruto front right and Sakura behind. Alright, move out, Kakashi ordered. Sakura stepped up behind Tazuna. Tazuna yelped as Sakura pushed him onto Kakashi's back. And off we go, she said with a smirk. With Tazuna piggybacking Kakashi, the team jumped into the trees. Tazuna screamed out, What the hell? I didn't sign up for Thioi Thias. Landing in a clearing, the team set about scanning the vicinity for threats. Kakashi set Tazuna down on the ground. I hope we didn't scare you too much, Tazuna-san. It's just that traveling at this speed. We should be near your home by midday tomorrow if nothing impedes our progress. Sitting down on a nearby log, a pale Tazuna mumbled out. You ninja are crazy. If I hadn't fainted every time I woke up until like half an hour ago, I'd have been super freaked out the whole way here. I smiling at Tazuna. Just take deep breaths, Tazuna-san. We'll set up an early dinner, so why don't you relax? Walking back into the clearing, Naruto said, Clear? Sasuke and Sakura entered from their points at the same time. Clear over here as well, Sensei. Sasuke just grunted a confirmation. Alright, Sakura, could you get started on boiling some water? Sasuke, help with the fire and set up what Sakura tells you to. She knows what she's doing, and after the last time you or Naruto cooked well, let's just say I don't like food poisoning. Blushing at the praise from her sensei, Sakura let out a Hi Sensei. Sasuke, could you grab some wood? Sasuke grunted again and starting towards a tree. Tazuna watched Sasuke as he approached the tree. What's that kid doing? How's he gonna cut off a few branches without a ladder or axe? Tazuna gasped in shock when Sasuke started to walk up the tree. How's he doing that? Some kinda trick? Kakashi sat next to him. Not just a basic chakra control exercise, a basic ninja skill. Tazuna still looked on in awe until Sasuke disappeared into the branches above. He was then distracted by what Kakashi said next. Hey Naruto, can you go get us one of those wild boars we passed earlier? With a quick nod, Naruto replied Hi Sensei, and started taking off his travel gear. Tazuna turned to Naruto. Kid, how are you gonna manage to take down a wild boar? They're super dangerous. Naruto looked at Tazuna and extended out the hidden bone in his left arm. I got my ways, old man. And he leapt into the trees, heading back the way they came. At that moment, Tazuna decided that the boys on this squad were crazy. At least the girls seemed rather normal. Turning back to Sakura to try and get some normalcy, he was shocked when he saw her cutting vegetables with the sharp claws of a blood-red and jet-black gauntlet. I give up, all ninja are crazy. Maybe a little, but we get the job done, Kakashi said to Tazuna with an eye smile. Not 2 minutes later, the two heard a loud crack and looked up. Falling through the trees was 3 small branches about the size of a fully grown person. They landed in a perfect pile next to Sakura, who didn't even flinch. About time, Sasuke-kun, I need that fire going now. Landing opposite Sakura, Sasuke said, Sorry for the delay, I had to find the perfect branches, otherwise I'll need to create a full fire pit, and we just don't have the time for that. Sasuke picked a branch and threw it into the air above Sakura. Catch. Sakura just smirked and disappeared in a red blur that flew past the log 4 times in a second before sitting back where she was and started to fill a pot that she recently unsealed with water from her canteen. Smirking at Sakura's nonchalant attitude, Sasuke ran through a set of hand signs. Fire style ember. He muttered and spat a small fireball at the pile of logs the branch had become, setting them ablaze in seconds. After that, Sasuke unsealed a metal grate on 3 legs and set it over the fire. It's ready, Sakura. Sakura nodded while throwing the chopped veggies in the now filled pot and set it above the fire to cook. Now we just need Naruto to come back with that boar, Sakura said to Sasuke with a smile. Sasuke couldn't help it. He smirked back to her, watching her face glow in the firelight. She really is quite beautiful. His thoughts were interrupted by a grunt of effort. The four in the clearing looked over to Naruto as he entered with a boar that was twice the size of him over his shoulders. "This enough, sensei?" he grunted as he dropped it in front of Sakura. Kakashi sighed at Naruto while Tazuna stared wide-eyed at the boar. "Naruto will only be here for 2 meals, we didn't need such a large kill." Naruto shrugged. "Big deal, Sakura can seal the meat in that time-lock seal she bought from Dansan." Sakura leant over the boar, and using her claws she cut off each of its 4 legs and set them over the fire to burn off all the fur and cook them. "I'm gonna clean this up before I seal it, don't want it to pop out all bloody and furry when I use the rest," said Sakura as she turned her attention to the corpse. Tazuna just blinked twice, looked at each of the calm ninja and said one thing. "You're super insane, all of you," before passing out from the shock. At this time, Naruto heard a twig snap from behind him. He turned around and scanned the area near the edge of the forest, noticing nothing out of the ordinary, just some bushes, a squirrel darting up a tree, a puddle. Wait a sec, a puddle? It hasn't rained in weeks. Turning towards Sasuke, he started tapping his knee with his ring finger. "Hey Sasuke, can you pass the water? I got something in my eye. I want to wash them out just to make sure." Sasuke recognized the tapping for their code of "we're being watched," and knowing that Naruto and Sakura were the ones that carried water on these missions while he lugged around the cooking utensils and the chakra handcuffs along with the food, Sasuke deduced that Naruto mentioned water for a reason. Realization hit Sasuke when he realized Naruto was telling him to activate his Sharingan. Why else would he start mentioning his eye? "Sure Naruto, whereabout did you leave it?" Hearing Sasuke call Naruto by his name instead of Ototo or Dobe, Kakashi and Sakura tuned into the conversation and started to assess the threat. "I think I left my bag behind the fire? To your left?" Naruto asked while slowly extending his hidden bone in front of him. Looking behind Naruto's left and noticing the puddle, Sasuke activated his Sharingan and saw through the genjutsu easily. "Yeah Naruto, you're right. There's 2 bottles right next to each other, what do you want?" Smiling at his team, Naruto stood up. "I want the one on the left." Sakura backed up to Tazuna, standing up as a guard while Naruto and Sasuke suddenly charged at the puddle. Naruto flung out his arm, sending a barrage on bone bullets at the ninjas in disguise, who dropped the genjutsu and dodged to the sides while the chain connecting their wrists was destroyed by the projectiles. "Shit, what now, Meizu?" the one on the left asked. "What do you think, Gozu, we attack?" the one on the right yelled while diving at Sasuke. Sasuke smirked, and using his Sharingan he dodged a lunge easily while unleashing his Kuzurigama. At one end a foot-long side blade appeared from its seal, while on the end at Sasuke's feet, a ball weight appeared. Spinning the chain expertly, Sasuke threw the side at Gozu, stabbing him through the shoulder. Screaming in pain, Gozu made a lunge at Sakura and Tazuna. But before he could get close, Sasuke pulled back on the chain, wrenching Gozu from the ground and was wrapped up in the chain. Gozu looked up groggily just in time to see the iron ball flying at his face. Crunch. The ball crushed Gozu's nose and teeth while knocking him out painfully, bringing the battle to an end. When Meizu charged at Naruto, he pulled his arm back, aiming for a stab at Naruto's chest, believing himself to be faster than a mere genin. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Naruto barely slid under the strike with his bone blade flashing upwards past Meizu. In the one step between Meizu's strike and Naruto's slide, Naruto had slashed at Meizu. Meizu stopped his charge in shock, and fell to the ground in 2 pieces, his head completely detached from his body thanks to Naruto's speedy swipe. Lowering his guard, Kakashi walked over to the 2 genin. "I must say you 2 fought exceptionally. Sasuke, you managed to capture your ninja just like a hunter nin would, and Naruto, you finished it in 1 move like a true assassin. You did amazing, now leave the interrogation to me. Naruto, make the corpse disappear." Picking up the unconscious captive, Kakashi stepped into the woods, out of sight of the group, leaving the others with the corpse. Sasuke looked at Naruto, who raised an eyebrow back at him. Yeah, I know," Naruto said before holding up a hand sign and diving underground, bringing Meizu's body with him. At this moment Tazuna decided to wake up. "Ugh, I don't feel too my god, that's a head." Sakura and Sasuke looked over to where Tazuna was pointing and realized that Naruto forgot to drag the head under as well. Nudging Sakura with his arm, Sasuke asked, "Do you think these 2 would have had a price in the bingo book?" Sakura smiled before taking a bingo book out of her pouch. "Here Sasuke-kun, once you said you'd become a hunter and tracking nin, I thought having one of these would help." Smirking at Sakura's ingenuity, Sasuke took the book from Sakura's hand and started looking through it. Sakura turned back to the food, seeing that the veggie soup was done. She grabbed a smaller pot of water and poured some rice in. Tazuna-san, would you like your soup now? Or would you rather wait till we have the meat and rice done? After a few moments of silence, Sakura thought he hadn't heard her. She turned to him to ask again when she realized he was still staring at the head, starting to look a bit green. Sasuke-kun, could you please move the head away from Tazuna-san? He doesn't look too comfortable. Looking up from his book, Sasuke nodded at Sakura and let out a HN. He casually strolled over to the head and picked it up by the hair and walked around the other side of the camp and put it behind one of the branches he cut down earlier. Naruto popped up next to Sasuke. Taken care of, guys. Now where's the grub? I'm starving. Sakura frowned at Naruto. Naruto and we should at least wait for Kakashi-sensei. Besides, Tazuna-san doesn't seem to feel like eating yet anyway. Naruto was about to retort when Kakashi walked into the clearing, pulling his headband down over his left eye. Well, I got what I need. Tell me, Tazuna-san. Who is Gato, and why does he want you dead? That one simple question made Tazuna nervous. I'm sorry, don't know him. Ask later. Closing the bingo book, Sasuke stood up and grabbed the head. If he's no one, then why did he send the demon brothers after you? They are high C-rank chunin from the Hidden Mist, known for being ruthless, and their use of highly effective poisons. Tazuna was beginning to sweat now. Maybe it's someone I owe some money to. Sure, it was an overreaction sending ninja after me, but still, I'm sure it's nothing. Glaring at Tazuna, Naruto grabbed the head from Sasuke. So you just made me take someone's life over a lost bet? He shoved the head into Tazuna's face. You think this is worth a few bucks? Look what you've done! Tazuna cringed away from the head, its dead eyes facing Tazuna. Kakashi grabbed Naruto's shoulder and pulled him back. Naruto, that's enough. I'm sure Tazuna-san will tell us why he lied, right, Tazuna-san? Alright, fine. Tazuna said, looking away in shame. Smirking at his victory, Naruto sealed the head into one of the capsules on his belt and passed it to Sasuke. Come on then, why were you so stingy? What, didn't want to pay for a higher mission? Are you that selfish? Something snapped in Tazuna and he glared heatedly at Naruto. Never. The future of my village is on the line. I would never put in less than my all for this cause. Stepping back in shock at Tazuna's outburst, the genin were at a loss of what to say. Seeing that Tazuna's situation was direr than he wanted to lead on, Kakashi waved the genin towards the logs around the fire and sat down next to Tazuna. Tazuna-san, if you tell us what is wrong, then we can better prepare for what we have to face. Please tell me, who is Gato and why does he want you dead? Sighing in defeat, Tazuna looked up at the jonin. Gato, he is the owner of Gato Industries. Kakashi's eye widened. That Gato? One of the richest men in the world, Gato? Why does he want you dead? I thought you were just a bridge builder? Tazuna nodded in response. I am. You see, Wave Country is completely isolated from other countries because we're surrounded by water. Seeing the opportunity before him, Gato seized power over Wave by buying all the shipping docks and hiring thugs to destroy the ones he couldn't buy from people. Gato's a monster, and has been sucking the land dry of crops, wildlife, money and people. He'd sell the crops and wildlife through his industry to make a huge profit while keeping the money for himself, and he'd sell the people into slavery in the black market. He's not the great leader of a visionary company, he's a ruthless monster bent on owning the world. Unfortunately, he chose to start with my village. Sasuke raised a brow. I still don't see why he'd hire ninja to kill you, Tazuna-san. Why are you so important? Tazuna looked up with a sad smile. I am the most super bridge builder in the whole of Water Country. My bridge will connect the land of waves to the mainland, destroying Gato's monopoly of our land. Tazuna stared into the fire with a tortured expression. With me gone, so is the bridge. So is the last hope of Wave. A silence fell onto the camp for a few moments, as Team 7 absorbed the information told to them. The silence was interrupted as Kakashi spoke. Well, team, looks like we got our work cut out for us and no way we can do this job on an empty stomach. Sakura, is the food almost done? I'm positively famished. Looking at her sensei, she gave a smile. It's ready now, help me dish it up and we can dig in. Kakashi nodded and stood to help Sakura while Tazuna looked on in shock. You're still going to help me? Even with the danger I put you in? From behind Tazuna, Sasuke patted him on the shoulder. As if we're gonna leave now, what kind of hunter would I be if I couldn't stand up to such interesting prey? Naruto, standing up from his place near the fire, said, Yeah, Tazuna-san, you can't get rid of us that easily. I'm gonna set up our tents, so pass me your stuff. Sasuke passed their bags to Naruto and walked over to help with the food, while Naruto took a few steps away and threw a sealing capsule to the ground, making the tent appear in a poof of smoke. Tazuna looked at the ninjas with tears pouring from his eyes. Thank you so much. Kakashi turned back to Tazuna. As if we could anything less, Tazuna-san, Here's your food now, chow down so you can get some rest. We're heading off at dawn. You get that, team? Tazuna nodded towards Kakashi with a smile on with teary face while the team shouted a hi sensei. Tazuna-san, how much longer will we be? Naruto asked with an impatient expression, as the team flew through the trees. Holding his hat with one hand, Tazuna faced Naruto from his place on Kakashi's back. At this speed we could be there in 10 minutes. This is super cool. Hearing this, Kakashi slowed down. Tazuna-san, didn't you say our lift across to the village's island won't be there until 2 p.m.? Tazuna said back, yeah, so what if we're a little early? Kakashi replied, nothing is wrong with that, it's just that I don't feel like wasting energy. Why don't we walk from here? We'll still be there over an hour early. Sasuke grunted in agreement, while Sakura nodded appreciatively. Sounds good to me, sensei. Coming to a halt, Kakashi jumped down to the ground, placing Tazuna back on his wobbly feet. Wow, that was a rush. Naruto landed next to him. At least we get a bit of a rest now. Looking around the area for any threats, as he'd been doing every 5 minutes for a minute at a time, Sasuke noticed a chakra signature in the mist ahead of them. Stepping up next to his sensei, Sasuke whispered, there's a man in this mist. His chakra signature is larger than yours, sensei. He can't see us yet as far as I can tell, but he seems to be waiting for us. Frowning in thought, Kakashi turned to his team. Alright guys, emergency protection pattern beta 3. Hi sensei, they replied in confidence. Naruto grabbed Tazuna's arm while Kakashi created 2 shadow clones. Naruto smirked at Tazuna's confused face. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Zabuza looked down from his vantage point among the trees. A squad of genin. This shouldn't be too hard, then again the Jonin looks familiar. Zabuza let the Konoha team walk right by underneath him and walk about 20 meters ahead before he jumped down from his perch. Time to get started, he thought, pulling the huge blade off of his back. Be on guard guys, and follow any order I give you straight away. Hi sensei, Sasuke and Sakura said to Kakashi while Kakashi's 2 shadow clones, that had transformed into Naruto and Tazuna lookalikes, just continued onwards without reacting. Kakashi closed his eyes and listened for movement. After a few seconds he heard a quiet grunt and then something flying through the air towards them. Get down! The team dove to the ground, barely avoiding the massive blade that flew over their heads. It slammed into a tree where moments before Zabuza appeared standing on the handle of the blade. Kakashi squinted his eye as he looked at Zabuza. Shit, that's Zabuza Momochi. I may not be able to come out of this one unscathed. Hello Zabuza, I'm guessing Gato sent you to delay us? He said while grasping the left side of his headband. Seeing the Jonin's movement, Zabuza recognized who he was, Kakashi Hatake, high A-rank shinobi, known as the Copy Ninja. This'll be fun, Zabuza said while turning to face the team, still standing on his sword. Kakashi smirked, though you couldn't see it behind his mask. Actually, I think you're in for a bit more than you bargained for. Just as Kakashi finished his sentence, a 4-bone bullet was shot straight through Zabuza's right thigh, causing him to fall from his sword and to the ground. Shit, Zabuza said, looking behind him to see an orange and black-clad Naruto sticking halfway out of the ground with his fingers pointing at him. Nice shot, Naruto. With less mobility I can take him down much easier, Kakashi said, pulling up his headband, revealing a full-matured Sharingan. Zabuza scowled from behind his bandages. Turning, he launched a kick at Naruto, who only got a glancing blow to the top of his head because he sunk back into the ground. Pissed off at being caught off guard by Genin, Zabuza turned to look back at the full team. As he watched, Kakashi's shadow clone that was disguised as Naruto disappeared into smoke. Fuck, I can't believe this turned bad so quickly. Kakashi, seeing his opportunity to end the battle, quickly dashed at Zabuza as Zabuza began hand signs while jumping onto his good leg. Seeing with his Sharingan, Kakashi easily saw that Zabuza was planning to summon water clones to aid him, so Kakashi prepared a counter. Zabuza glared at Kakashi. Water style, water clone jutsu, he yelled, summoning 2 clones to intercept Kakashi while he grabbed his sword. To his shock, the first clone disappeared seconds after it was summoned due to a bone bullet through its head, and the second clone didn't last long against Kakashi. Zabuza tried to lure Kakashi into a trap by jumping onto the nearby lake. Come on then, leaf scum, he said, glaring at Kakashi. Being overconfident in both himself and his students, Kakashi leapt onto the water in front of Zabuza and pulled a kunai. Let's finish this, Zabuza. With that said, Kakashi lunged at Zabuza and Zabuza swung his sword downward to intercept Kakashi's lunge. The sword was blocked by Kakashi, but the force of the swing pushed him underwater. Gotcha! Zabuza yelled while reaching into the water with his free hand, water style, water prison jutsu. Kakashi was suddenly unable to move in the water that pressurized around him. Shit, I'm caught. What should I do? Zabuza smirked, before glaring at the Genin and Tazuna. What are you gonna do now? Your sensei's done, and your client is gonna be next. Then I'm coming after you, he said, adding killing intent to his glare. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura shook in fear at the killing intent. But realizing that their next actions as a team could save their sensei's life, Naruto forced through the fear and yelled, "Those that abandon the mission are trash. But those that abandon their comrades are worse than trash. Right, guys?" Sakura and Sasuke steeled their fear and replied in affirmative. Naruto summoned 2 giant shuriken and flung them at Zabuza while charging with the other 2 on his flanks. Zabuza swung his sword and battered the 2 blades aside. "Is that all you got?" Water clone jutsu. He summoned a water clone and gave it his blade. "Deal with the brats." The clone ran forward to meet the team's charge when Sakura yelled, "Pattern Delta Strike." Sasuke and Naruto smirked to the side, leaving Sakura charging at the clone alone. The clone smirked, "Overconfident, don't you think, little girl?" He yelled, swinging Kubikiri Bocho at Sakura, only for her to disappear in a burst of speed. "What?" Sakura appeared behind Zabuza's clone with her gauntlets activated. She stabbed at his back at the same time he jumped forward. "Nice try," he said, swinging at a now off-balance Sakura. That was when Sakura smirked and was pulled underground as a fireball appeared where she was. The clone's eyes widened in shock. What the he? And it evaporated instantly, dropped the blade as it stabbed into the ground. Seeing his clone get destroyed so quickly, Zabuza made the 3 hand signs needed as 2 more clones appeared on either side of him. "Kill them and bring me my blade," he ordered, and the clones charged towards Sasuke and the discarded sword respectively. Sasuke turned, his Sharingan now having 2 tomo, and glared at the water clone that was charging him. "Bring it," he said, and whipped out the blade of his Kusarigama. The clone dodged the strikes easily and tried making his way to Sasuke to attack him, but using his Sharingan and the Kusa, Sasuke kept the clone at a distance without a challenge. "I thought you were gonna kill me, Zabuza? I'm still breathing." The clone got pissed off and recklessly dove under a strike to get in Sasuke's guard. A big mistake, it realized as it looked up to attack. Zabuza watched as Sasuke's Sharingan span rapidly, and suddenly, he disappeared. The clone stood up in shock. "What? Where'd he go?" He managed to get out before his head splashed into water as the weight of Sasuke's weapons slammed into him. The second clone had just wrapped his hand around Kubikiri Bocho when a pink blur appeared in his line of sight. On instinct, it jumped back as Sakura's claw slammed into where he was a moment before. The clone scowled and swung the sword at Sakura, who dodged by using her flexibility and leaning backwards. "Hold still, brat." It snarled as it swung again. Sakura didn't have time to dodge, so she raised her gauntlets into a block, hoping that they hold out. Slam! Zabuza's blade impacted and sent Sakura flying. The clone smirked in victory and turned around to give the blade back to the original, only to see another giant shuriken inches from his face. Shit, it thought in the millisecond before it was cut through. Naruto appeared from the ground and picked up his shuriken and Zabuza's sword. "Holy shit, this thing is heavy," he thought as Sasuke and Sakura appeared next to him. "Plan, Sasuke?" Sakura asked, glancing at him. Sasuke frowned in concentration, thinking through the different tactics they've learned together as a team. "Radical takedown," he said confidently. Naruto turned to him in shock. "But we've only practiced that twice." "It's our best shot to save Sensei, now let's go," Sasuke said, forming hand signs and disappearing into his chameleon genjutsu. Sakura nodded at Naruto. "You heard him, let's get started," Sakura said. Naruto nodded, unsealing another shuriken. "Roger!" he yelled as he flung them at the unprotected Zabuza. Zabuza watched the shuriken fly at him. "You think that'll work?" he said, catching it in front of him with ease. Zabuza smirked and pulled the shuriken aside, ready to throw it back when he notices pink at the base of his vision. He looks down to see Sakura, who had ran fast enough to stay out of sight underneath the flying shuriken. "Shinaro!" she yelled and unleashed an uppercut into Zabuza's jaw, sending him through the air, forcing him away from the now failing water jutsu. "Hit it, Sasuke!" Naruto yelled. Appearing out of his genjutsu, Sasuke was leaping over Zabuza, unleashing his new jutsu. "Weapon style, flaming arc!" he yelled, swinging the scythe of his weapon on Zabuza's airborne form. Fire leapt from a seal on Sasuke's chain of his weapon and set it ablaze. As Sasuke swung it, the flames flew in a red-hot arc while maintaining the sharpness of the scythe, aiming to cleave Zabuza in half. Zabuza didn't see the arc of fire until last moment, due to the blinding pain of Sakura's punch. Opening his eyes as the fire started to burn his chest, Zabuza made a split-second substitution, only getting second-degree burn and a large gash. Zabuza fell to solid ground in pain, screaming fucking brats. I swear I'll kick. He suddenly went limp when 2 needles flew out of nowhere and pierced his neck. Kakashi approached Zabuza and checked his pulse. There was none. A hunter nin landed next to Kakashi and grabbed his arm. I want to thank your team for weakening him, but this is my kill. I will take it and my leave now. The hunter nin pushed Kakashi away and put his hand on Zabuza's chest. They disappeared in a shunshin. Kakashi turned to Tazuna as it poofed into smoke. Good work, team. Naruto, where did you leave the real Tazuna? Naruto took a few steps towards his right and pushed his hand through the ground next to a green-colored straw. A few seconds later, Tazuna was pulled out covered in dirt with the straw sticking out of his mouth. Spitting it out, he asked, "Is it over?" Kakashi pulled his headband down over his Sharingan and spoke, "Yep," before collapsing in near chakra exhaustion. "Can we get some rest at your house, Tazuna-san?" Kakashi blinked once, then fell over unconscious. Kakashi regained consciousness to find himself surrounded by his team. "Morning, guys, what's up?" he slurred. His team turned to him as he sat up. He looked around to find himself in a house on a couch in the lounge room. "Sensei, you're alive!" Naruto yelled in excitement. Tazuna sat opposite him on a chair. "Super! Now that you're awake, what happened out there? Other than being a little wet, you seemed perfectly fine. No injuries or anything." Sakura sighed. "We've already explained, he was extremely low on oxygen and almost had chakra exhaustion. It was perfectly normal that he fell unconscious for a while." Kakashi nodded. "What she said?" He spoke before rolling on his side and waving them off. "Wake me up in the morning, we may as well get some training done while Tazuna-san builds his bridge." Sasuke poked Kakashi's head. "Sensei, I think Zabuza is still alive." This brought a look of shock to everyone's face. Naruto asked the obvious question, why? That hunter nin took away his corpse Aniki, he ain't immortal." Sasuke nodded. "Exactly, hunter nins just take the head as evidence and destroy the body, right, Sensei?" he said, looking at Kakashi for confirmation. Mulling it over for a few seconds, Kakashi sighed and sat up. "Sasuke's right, man, I should have noticed that straight away. I guess Zabuza is still around, and even worse, he has a partner that is hunter nin level." After a moment of silence, a young woman walked into the room. "Excuse me, everyone, dinner is ready. Thank you once again for all the pork, we won't have to head to the market for a while." Sakura smiled at her. "It's the least we could do for you, Tsunami. You are letting us stay here." The now named Tsunami nodded with a smile. "Please be quick, I don't want you to have to eat cold food," she said while turning back to the kitchen/dining room. Sitting down at the round table, the team began to dig in while talking animatedly. Tsunami called out, "Inari, dinner is ready." A few moments later, a depressed-looking boy walked down the stairs and took a seat between Naruto and Sakura. He looked at all the food in shock. "Ka-san, how did we get so much food?" Tsunami looked at Inari. "These ninja caught the meat for us, I just cooked it with a couple of herbs. Eat up, Inari." Inari looked up at the smiling ninja, seeing their happiness over such a small accomplishment. This kid has obviously gone head-to-head with a rabid wild boar before. He scowled and took his plate of food back up to his room. "Thanks, Ka-san, I'll be going to bed after this. Good night, Grandpa." The group watched as Inari left. "Sorry about him, he's just not very happy with our current situation. Everyone wants Gato gone," Tazuna said quietly. Taking an obnoxiously loud bite out of the meat provided, Naruto said, "It's fine, Tazuna-san, the kid will be happy when we're done here, so that's all that matters. Pass the sauce, Nechan?" Sakura passed the sauce to Naruto. "You really have no finesse at all, do you?" Tazuna outright laughed while Tsunami and Kakashi chuckled. Sasuke just let out a smirk. "You got that right, Sakura-chan. Otuto has the manners of a drunken chicken." Sakura blinked at Sasuke in shock. "Did he just call me Chan?" Naruto scowled over the table at Sasuke. "At least my hair doesn't look like a chicken's ass." Everyone looked at Sasuke's hair for a second, as if noticing it for the first time. Bah-ha-ho-ha-ho-ha-ho-ha-ho-ha-ho-ha-ha-ha-ha. The whole table broke out into intense laughter while Sasuke sat fuming. It does not look like a Kakashi shoved a mirror into Sasuke's hand. Why didn't anyone tell me my head looked like poultry? At this, everyone burst into laughter again. Some giggling could even be heard upstairs. Naruto yelled, "Haha, maybe it's some kinda jutsu to summon birds. Fly us in some chicken aniki. Ha ha." Sasuke scowled at everyone, then at their food. "Here's a jutsu for you. May all your bacon burn," he said before taking an over-exaggerated bite into his food angrily. Naruto yawned. "Sensei, what are we doing down here so early?" Kakashi turned to face the team while sitting on the end of the wharf. Did you three see how Zabuza and I stood on top of the water? That was an extension to the tree climbing technique. We're here so that you guys can learn that, then hopefully if you finish it within the next few days, I can start you on something a little more advanced. Kakashi said with an eye smile. Naruto thought to Kyuubi, hey Fox, can you ask Mizuki if he knew how to do this? Sure Kit. After a few seconds of silence, he continued. Mizuki says it's the same as tree walking, except instead of holding the chakra, you have to push it out evenly from your whole foot. Sounds lame, why don't you just blow up the river? Naruto sighed to himself, cause you're an oversized, violent carpet. Naruto cut the connection before Kyuubi could respond. Though Naruto could still feel the growl being directed at him. Kakashi's voice snapped Naruto out of his concentration. Do you have another random piece of information on chakra control, Naruto? Or was it a one-time fluke? Kakashi thought, I'm so funny, or is that the lack of chakra to my brain talking? Naruto smirked and said, water walking is the same as tree walking, except instead of holding the chakra, you have to push it out evenly from your whole foot to maintain balance. That about right, sensei? The other two genin looked at Naruto before glancing at their stunned sensei. Yes, actually, exactly that. Well, you heard him, get on with it, Kakashi said while staring at Naruto. Naruto walked towards the river and applied the chakra. When he thought he had it, he stepped onto the water. Once he got to the center of the river, he turned and smiled, hey guys. This ain't hard at all. That was the moment when Naruto lost concentration and fell in. Holy log, that's cold. He screamed as he shot out of the water and landed on the shoreline again. Naruto pulled off his wet clothes, standing only in his boxers. I'll get it this time for sure. Sakura smacked Naruto over the back of his head, and I baka. Put your clothes back on. Hearing clothing being removed behind her, Sakura turned around and saw Sasuke taking off his shirt. As Sasuke-kun? What are you doing? Sasuke, standing only in his shorts now after taking off his equipment and his shirt, said, Otuto does have a point. If we keep screwing up, our clothes will get soaked. I don't want to deal with the extra weight. Kakashi patted Sakura on the shoulder. If you want to strip as well, I'm sure the boys won't mind. But I'm going back to the house before Tazuna wakes up. He leaned down and whispered in her ear, if the reason you choose not to is insecurity, you should know that neither of the boys would judge you for anything you think you may or may not have. I mean, you're still young, so yeah. Sakura blushed at the implications of what Kakashi said, even though she couldn't completely deny what he was implying. Shut up, sensei. Sakura stepped to the water's edge where Naruto was standing wobbly while Sasuke was placing one foot on the surface trying to balance the right amount of flowing chakra. Smiling at Sakura's bravery, Kakashi turned and began to walk back to the house since his chakra system wasn't healed enough for him to poof there. Sakura unzipped the back of her dress and pulled it over her head. It'll be fine, they're my teammates. They won't care. Sakura focused the necessary chakra to her feet and tried walking onto the water. In only 2 steps, Sakura found the perfect amount of chakra and focused on maintaining that level. Perfect, now let's show these boys how it's done. Sakura jumped off the water and stepped off Naruto's shoulders to land in the center of the lake. Hey, this isn't hard at all, she said, turning back to her team, the water splashing around her. Naruto looked up at the underwear-clad Sakura, not even fazed at the lack of clothing, and said, how do you keep getting these things down straight away, Nei-chan? Sakura put on a lecture voice, elementary dear and Baka, I am just smarter than you. She finished with a grin. Hearing a splash, they turned to look at Sasuke, who was unconscious face down in the water. Aniki! What's wrong? Naruto said as he pulled Sasuke above water. Sakura came over to check on him when she saw he had fainted from a nosebleed. Does Sasuke find me attractive? Sakura thought with a blush. Noticing the blood himself, Naruto slapped Sasuke back to consciousness. Aniki! Stop being a pervert. That brought Sasuke back fully. I'm an Uchiha. I'm not a pervert, he said, blushing. Blushing herself, Sakura leaned forward in a teasing pose. I'll like what you see, Sasuke-kun, she said as a joke. Without thinking, Sasuke replied, yeah. Naruto whacked Sasuke over the head. Pervert. Rubbing his head, Sasuke scowled at Naruto. Shut up, Baka. Sakura was about to break up the fight when she noticed something on Naruto's stomach. Hey Naruto and I, what's that on your stomach? Naruto, who was still focusing chakra for the water walking technique, looked down to see the fox's seals showing in black ink. Naruto panicked and cut the chakra off, falling into the knee-deep water near the bank. It's nothing, don't ask about it, he said in fear, sitting against one of the posts of the wharf. Sasuke immediately calmed down, worried about Naruto's outburst. Otuto, was that a seal? What's it doing on your stomach? Naruto didn't look up to his teammates. Kyuubi, what do I do? If they find out about you, they'll hate me. I can't go back to being alone again. It hurts too much. What do I do? The Kyuubi let out a huge sigh. Look, Kit, I think they will see the difference between us. And don't take this the wrong way, I'm still a fucking tough demon. But if they can't see the good in you, then they're not really worth it. Even if you do lose them, I can't believe I'm saying this, you still have us inside you. We won't leave you. And I don't think they will either. Feeling a hand on his shoulder, Naruto looked up and saw Sasuke and Sakura looking at him in concern. Sasuke gasped at the pained look on his face and the tears in his eyes. Being the smart person she is, Sakura asked, has it got something to do with why the villages hate you? Catching onto Sakura's train of thought, Sasuke wrapped Naruto in brotherly hug. No matter what it is, we won't hate you. Even if the seal is holding something we would hate, you are not the seal. Otoro, tell me what's wrong. Sakura stood in silence, listening to the raw emotion in Sasuke's voice and watching the trembling form of Naruto. Naruto and I? Naruto's tears slowed as he glanced between his teammates and the river. I think you're right, Kyuubi, they'll accept me. I'm gonna tell them good luck, Kit. Naruto stood up out of the river and channeled some chakra so that the seal appeared. You guys know my birthday, right? Recognize anything weird that happened on the same day? Sasuke raised a brow at Naruto in confusion, while Sakura thought on Naruto's meaning. I'm pretty sure it's on October 10th. The Kyuubi festival is held then, so maybe Naruto pulled a prank at one of those and now wears a seal as punishment. I mean, he was only a baby at the time, so he couldn't have had anything to do with the actual Kyuubi attack, right? Sakura turned to the nervous Naruto. The Kyuubi festival has been on every year since your... Naruto shook his head furiously and interrupted. No, I mean on my actual day of birth. Sakura then asked, the Kyuubi attack? What does that have to do with you? Sasuke stared into Naruto's eyes and remembered all he could about the story of the Kyuubi attack. The fourth Hokage defeated the Kyuubi by sealing the Kyuubi away. We were told it was into a fish that's now kept in the pond at the Hokage Tower. We were lied to, weren't we, Naruto? Naruto nodded. There's no way in hell a fish would be able to contain the power of a bijou. You see, only a human's chakra system would be able to handle the strain of any demonic chakra. But the Kyuubi isn't just any bijou, it's the strongest of the 9, so an adult's body wouldn't have the time to adjust to accommodate all the extra chakra. So the fourth sealed it into a baby. Naruto said, hoping they would get it without him having to say the words. Sakura and Sasuke's eyes widened. Naruto? Were you that child? Sakura asked, halfway between fear and anger. Seeing Sakura's reaction, Naruto assumed she hated him now that she found out his secret. Yes. He whispered so quiet they barely heard it. The river was quiet after Naruto's affirmation, as if the world itself was